Chapter 93. Gambling Fight. Jingwan looked up in a daze. She never would have thought that things would turn out like this. She had mustered up her courage to find Yi Zichen in order to let him see her determination and invite him to the team. However, he actually didn't even allow Xia Kiki to participate. Kiki has her own thoughts. What right do you have to make decisions for her? Jingwan bit her lips, while anger surfaced on her face. I'm doing this to be responsible for your team, and also for Xia Kiki. She definitely isn't suitable for this sort of industry. If your team has her, then you might not even be able to pass the A-League. Good advice was unpleasant to the ear, but there was definitely a basis for it. Just like the current Yi Zichen, everything he said to Jingwan was definitely for her sake, but it was clear that the current her was unable to accept it. Jingwan bit her lips and her eyes sparkled. After a long while, she looked up as if she had made up her mind and said with determination, "Follow me to the base." Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows when he saw the base that Jingwan had built. Only at that moment did he truly feel Jingwan's determination to build a team. For example, Yi Zichen had thought that it would be pretty good if it was a duplex, but Jingwan directly got a mansion. What made him even more speechless was that this mansion, it was right in front of his house. It was right in front of the door. He was afraid that Lil White would chase after him. How is it? The location is pretty good, right? Jingwan raised her delicate chin proudly. Yi Zichen smiled, but continued to urge her, "Don't worry, I'll be fine. Hurry up and go in." Okay. A hint of pride surfaced on Jingwan's pretty face. She had naively thought that the base she chose scared Yi Zichen. That's what you get for giving me a sour face every time. I'll make you even more shocked when we go in. Jingwan thought proudly in her heart. Kiki, do you remember what you said just now? A long-haired boy with glasses sat beside Xia Kiki. The boy looked to be only 17 or 18 years old, while the immaturity on his face had yet to fade. I don't know what I said to you just now. Xia Kiki pushed the keyboard away, then stood up from the chair and walked towards the sofa in the living room. The boy quickly chased after her and grabbed her arm. Kiki, you can't go back on your word. Didn't you just say that you liked people who were better than you at games? In the solo match just now, I won 3 out of 5. Di Xinping, I only said that I like you. I didn't say that I would like you if you win. Then why are you competing with me? When people ask me to solo, I've never rejected them. Xia Kiki pouted her pink lip. She had just said it casually. Adding on the fact that the other party had challenged her to a duel, her stubborn temper immediately made her agree. She didn't expect that her unintentional words would cause such a huge reaction from Di Xinping. Anger appeared on Di Xinping's childish face. He stuck out his finger and was speechless for a long time. The corners of Xia Kiki's mouth twitched. She stealthily stood up from the sofa and moved closer to the villa's door. I tell you, don't you dare do anything to me. I have a boyfriend. If you dare to touch me, he won't let you off. As he approached the door, he tried to calm Di Xinping down. Bang! Xia Kiki, who was retreating, bumped into Yi Zichen, who had just entered with Jingwan. Who is it? Xia Kiki looked back with a frown. When she saw Yi Zichen, who had a helpless expression, she directly leapt over. Why did you come? Yi Zichen scratched his head when he felt the undisguised joy in Xia Kiki's tone. However, he could feel the hostility from not far away. You're Xia Kiki's boyfriend? Di Xinping pursed his lips, while intense sparks flashed in his eyes. Yi Zichen was stunned for a moment. However, Xia Kiki, who was in his arms, raised her chin and snorted. Yeah, he's my boyfriend. He's 10,000 times better than you when it comes to games. Then let's compete. Let's compete. Nobody asked for Yi Zichen's opinion before the two of them directly started fighting. Yi Zichen looked at the two of them, who were fighting each other, in confusion. What's going on? Not long later, Xia Kiki told Yi Zichen everything that had happened. With that, Yi Zichen didn't accept the challenge, nor did he investigate the childishness of the two children. Instead, he turned around and looked towards Jingwan. See, this is also one of the disadvantages. Xia Kiki definitely can't join your team. I think you should find another player. Jingwan didn't think that something like this would actually happen while she wasn't here. Hey, what right do you have to stop Xia Kiki from joining this team? Di Xinping was already unhappy before Jingwan said anything. Isn't it obvious? How could I let my girlfriend risk her life here when there's someone with ulterior motives like you in the team? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes speechlessly. Hearing him admit that she was his girlfriend, Xia Kiki's face instantly turned red. Ding dong. Your affability level with Xia Kiki increased by 50. Current affability level, 220. Di Xinping was instantly speechless. He was indeed interested in Xia Kiki, or rather, it was love at first sight. The first time he saw Xia Kiki, he felt like his heart had been stolen away. To put it bluntly, it was because this brat had been gaming for too long, and suddenly saw a pretty girl like Xia Kiki. It was normal for him to feel moved. Di Xinping didn't want to give up, so he clenched his teeth and snorted. Since you can be Kiki's boyfriend, you should be pretty good at gaming, right? Let's compete best of 5. If I win, then you quit, if you win, then I'll quit. Young people were young people. Yi Zichen laughed when he heard Di Xinping's words. What are you thinking? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then hooked his arm around Xia Kiki's waist. This is my woman, it has nothing to do with you. You're still shamelessly saying that you're quitting? This has nothing to do with you, alright? Ding dong. Your affability level with Xia Kiki increased by 50. Current affability level, 270. Then what do you want? Di Xinping's face turned green and white. Nothing, I don't want to compete with you. You're not my match at all. Yi Zichen, compete with him, Xia Kiki suddenly spoke up. At that moment, Xia Kiki suddenly spoke up. She pouted and snorted. I lost to him in a solo. Help me win it back. Yi Zichen really didn't want to say too much about Xia Kiki's competitiveness. He subconsciously glanced at Jingwan and sighed softly, as if to say, see, this is Xia Kiki. You still want her to play professionally? At the same time, Di Xinping, who didn't give up, also agreed. Yeah, if you're Kiki's boyfriend, then win it back for her. If a man can't protect his own woman, then what kind of man is he? Yi Zichen was speechless once again. Those words were so childish. Yi Zichen couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Little brother, are you underage? Di Xinping blushed and snorted. I'm going to be an adult soon. Don't change the topic. Are we going to compete or not? Looking at Di Xinping's unyielding expression, as well as Xia Kiki's expectant expression, Xia Kiki's heart sank. Yi Zichen shrugged helplessly. Chapter 94. He misunderstood again. 30 minutes later, Yi Zichen stood up from the chair with a normal expression. Di Xinping thought back to his results with a dejected expression, from 3 out of 5, to 4 out of 7, to 5 out of 9. He continuously increased the number of matches he had, and Yi Zichen never refused. However, the final result was his crushing defeat. Are you convinced now? Yi Zichen pursed his lips and smiled as he looked at Di Xinping's dejected expression. From the solo match just now, he could feel that this brat truly had a lot of talent for League of Legends. He was also very strong, so Xia Kiki didn't lose out to him. However, the strange thing was that Di Xinping chose Yi Zichen as his opponent. I'm convinced. Di Xinping was truly convinced. Yi Zichen was the one who chose all the champions after so many matches. What's more, those champions were the ones he played the best. However, he could feel the chasm of difference between him and Yi Zichen from the matches. No matter if it was Yi Zichen's mechanics or awareness, he was much stronger than him. Crushed. He was convinced. If you are, then do you still remember our promise? Everyone revealed a curious expression. None of them heard it when Yi Zichen told Di Xinping about the bet. Di Xinping nodded, then let out a long sigh and walked in front of Jingwan. Wanjie, let's cancel the contract we signed a while ago. Jingwan was confused. She looked towards Yi Zichen in shock, while an uncontrollable rage gradually surfaced on her face. Yi Zichen, I know you don't think well of my team. You can criticize me for being childish, but don't you think this is a bit too much? Yi Zichen was stunned. What about me? I'm doing this for your own good, alright? For my own good. Jingwan laughed maniacally. You said you're doing this for my own good? Yeah. Yi Zichen, what exactly do you want? Forget about Kiki, she might not be suited to play professionally as a girl, but you're not letting my other members go? I'm telling you, no, I can't let him go. Jingwan replied without hesitation. Her pretty face was filled with uncontrollable anger. Please leave, you're not welcome here. No, please leave. Yi Zichen shrunk his neck and walked out of the mansion with Xia Kiki when he saw Jingwan's angry look. As he watched Yi Zichen and Jingwan leave, Di Xinpeng was also confused. He moved his lips in an attempt to say something, but Jingwan interrupted him. Di Xinpeng, didn't you say that you wanted to play professionally? Didn't you say that you wanted to stand on the world stage? You? Sister Wan, you misunderstood. Di Xinpeng sighed and said, I want to sign a new contract with you. Re-sign the contract? Jingwan didn't quite understand what he meant and couldn't help but ask, what do you mean by re-signing the contract? Just now, Brother Yi made a bet with me. He said that if I lose, I'll stay in your team forever. The premise is that your team can play in the Pro League. If your team can't compete at the international level, then this contract doesn't count. Is that what Yi Zichen told you? Jingwan was stunned, he thought. Why didn't you say so earlier? Jingwan's heart was filled with guilt when she thought about her attitude towards Yi Zichen. The other party was clearly thinking for her sake, worried about the changes in the team members. But you didn't give me a chance to say it, Di Xinpeng smiled helplessly. Just now you. Who would dare to say anything when you were like that? There was no need to mention how awkward Jingwan felt. She raised her hand and messed up her hair, then bit her lips and didn't say anything for a long time. Yi Zichen felt like he was going to collapse after being kicked out for no reason. He clearly did it for Jingwan's sake. Why did it make it seem like there was a huge grudge between them? Why did Jing Wanjie suddenly get mad? Xia Kiki sighed as she looked at the base behind her. Yi Zichen licked his lips speechlessly. Who knows what's going on with this woman? Yi Zichen twitched his mouth towards the mansion behind him. When he thought about Jingwan's annoyed expression towards him just now, he felt extremely annoyed. Xia Kiki glanced at Yi Zichen's expression, then hugged his arm. Don't be angry. Oh yeah, you told Di Xinpeng that I'm your girlfriend just now. Here it comes. Yi Zichen knew that Xia Kiki wouldn't let go of this question. I was giving you face back then. You already said that I'm your boyfriend. How embarrassing would it be for you if I said that I'm not? What's more, it's not the first time I pretended to be your boyfriend. You should understand how easy it is. TSK. Xia Kiki wrinkled her nose in annoyance and snorted. I don't want to talk to you. She walked to the side of the A4, then made a face towards Yi Zichen before disappearing from the mansion. Yi Zichen stood on the spot and waved his hand towards her. Lu Jing popped out from the side. Kiki seems to like you. Of course. Even an idiot could feel that Xia Kiki was interested in him. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you to sort out the relationships around you properly. From what I know, there seems to be only 3. Lu Jing wrinkled her nose. Yi Zichen licked his lips, then returned home. Late at night, Yi Zichen laid on the bed and scrolled through his WeChat on his phone. For some reason, the group seemed rather quiet recently. There were fewer people talking, and no one was sending red packets anymore. Yi Zichen scrolled through the moments of a few deities. It seemed like the people in the heavenly court were having some sort of conclusion meeting. Anyways, the direct effect for Yi Zichen was that he couldn't get any red packets. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's phone vibrated. Yi Zichen's heart also shook. He quickly picked up his phone and saw that the person who sent him the message was Su Yan. Are you asleep? This was the first time Yi Zichen had sent Su Yan a message after adding her on WeChat for so long. But why did she find him so late at night? Could it be that the goddess couldn't sleep and wanted to ask him out? He slap. Yi Zichen raised his hand and slapped himself. Stop King dreaming. I'm not asleep. What is it? Did you miss me? Yi Zichen smiled. Narcissist. Su Yan's reply was followed by several pouting emojis. Yi Zichen could imagine what she looked like at that moment, causing a smile to involuntarily surface on his face. It's not like it's the first time you've met me. A row of pouting emojis was sent over. Then, Su Yan sent another message. I'm not messing around with you anymore. I called you to talk to you about proper business. Proper business? Yi Zichen was stunned. What business? Didn't you say that you wanted to open a supermarket last time? I did have that thought. I told my older brother to find a few locations for you. Go and take a look if you have time? He didn't think that the proper business Su Yan wanted to talk to him about was actually that. He had merely said it casually. He didn't think that Su Yan would actually remember it. Yi Zichen felt a bit moved in his heart. It seemed like he wasn't just a little important in Su Yan's heart. Alright, I'll go and take a look with OL3 tomorrow. It's getting late, I'm going to sleep. Yi Zichen sent a few cute emojis, then put his phone to the side. Supermarket. A supermarket that mainly sold to the Heavenly Court. Perfect. I'll use the few days that the Heavenly Court is having a meeting to set up the supermarket. When their meeting ends, Yi Zichen will start promoting his supermarket cultivation. Chapter 95. Confirmed supermarket store. Su Yan drove. When he heard from Su Yan that Yi Zichen wanted to open a supermarket, his first thought was that it was unreliable. He more or less understood Yi Zichen's mysteriousness. There was no need to even mention the great recovery pill in his hand. If he needed money, he could take out a few and sell them in the circle of tycoons. It was definitely enough for him to live a carefree life. Yi Zi, why do you want to open a supermarket? Su Yan was confused. Yi Zichen licked his lips with a smile. Isn't it normal for a university student to start a business? What's wrong? You won't let me open a supermarket? It's not that I don't want to. You can do anything you want. Besides, starting a business from a supermarket? What's wrong with that? Start from the bottom. No, are you serious? Su Yan really thought that Su Yan was joking with him, but it didn't seem like it. I'm serious. Yi Zichen nodded noncommittally. We've looked at quite a few shops just now. The ones I found for you were all commercial streets with a lot of people, and many of them were near the school district. Didn't you like any of them? The locations that Su Yan found were pretty good, but Yi Zichen's original intention wasn't to rely on the supermarket to make money. He wanted to sell goods to the Heavenly Court. Shaking his head, Su Yan could only sigh helplessly and lead him to the next location. Boss, what do you think? The storefront is definitely big enough, and we can stock up underground. A greasy fatty rubbed his hands and smiled coyly towards Yi Zichen and Su Yan. Su Yan frowned, then looked outside. This place is too remote. This place is indeed remote, but our prices are also cheap. I don't think so. Yi Zi, what do you think? Su Yan shook his head. If he opened a supermarket here, it would close down in less than 3 months. I think it's not bad. Let's go with it. Who would have thought that Yi Zichen would actually like a place that Su Yan didn't like? This place was indeed out of the way, but to Yi Zichen, it was exactly what he wanted. Yi Zi, did I hear wrongly? Su Yan opened his eyes wide. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. You didn't hear wrong. I like this place. I'll buy it. Yi Zichen walked around the store a few more times, then said to the fatty. Have you brought the contract? Sign it. After Su Yan paid for Yi Zichen, the fatty left happily with the contract and money. Yi Zichen nodded towards the shop with a satisfied look. Su Yan walked over speechlessly. Yi Zi, do you really want to open a supermarket? This broken place will definitely lose money. Hey, you don't understand. Yi Zichen patted Su Yun's shoulders with a smile. I'll give you the money for the shop later. I'm a bit tight on money recently. Also, you don't have to get a license. Help me contact the suppliers. All kinds of snacks, drinks. I want them all. Su Yun's knitted eyebrows relaxed, then hooked his arm around Yi Zichen's shoulder. Yi Zi, tell me, what do you want? You don't need a license, you just need the goods. I think there's something wrong with your supermarket. Not telling you. As Yi Zichen chuckled, his phone rang. He looked at the caller ID, then waved towards Su Yun. I'll leave the supply to you. I still have things to do, so I'll be leaving. There definitely wouldn't be any problems with Su Yun watching over the supermarket. But then again, this place was truly out of the way. Yi Zichen stood on the road in a daze for 10 odd minutes before finally getting a taxi. When Yi Zichen arrived at Huang Xingmei's home once again, he was very familiar with the place. Huang Yi also rolled over in his wheelchair. Idol, you came. Huang Xingmei also walked out with fruits and smiled towards Yi Zichen. Zichen. Yi Zichen was a bit unable to resist the undisguised love in her eyes. Don't be so courteous, didn't you call me over to treat Huang Yi's leg? Idol, can you really treat my leg? Huang Yi's eyes were also a bit excited. When Yi Zichen first came, he was too excited to see his idol, so he didn't pay much attention to Yi Zichen's words. Only a few days later did he realize that when Yi Zichen pressed down on his waist a few times, his leg, which he had never felt before, actually started to feel. Don't call me an idol, just call me Yi Zichen, or Big Bro. I feel awkward calling me idol all the time. Okay, Zichen Ji. Huang Yi nodded and had Huang Xingmei push him into the bedroom, while Yi Zichen followed behind. Do you need my help? Huang Xingmei stood beside the bed. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. Don't worry. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. No need, go do what you need to do. Okay. Huang Xingmei left the bedroom with a gentle smile. Huang Yi, who was lying on the bed, coincidentally saw his older sister's gentleness. Zichen Ji, what's your relationship with my older sister? Friends. Yi Zichen pressed his hand onto the Huiyang acupoint on Huang Yi's pelvic bone, while energy gradually flowed around his fingertip. Huang Yi didn't seem to pay attention to his body's condition at all, and instead chased after Yi Zichen's words. But I saw that the way my older sister looked at you just now wasn't normal. Is that so? Endure the pain. Yi Zichen used force with his right hand, while the energy from his fingertips flowed into the acupoint. The expression of Huang Yi, who was just chatting with Yi Zichen, suddenly changed, while waves of pain quickly emitted from his mouth. Huang Yi's condition was indeed too serious. He was born paralyzed, and his legs couldn't feel anything from a young age. His internal meridians were extremely blocked. If Yi Zichen wanted to let him recover, he could only unblock the blocked meridians. Rather than letting Huang Yi feel pain bit by bit, Yi Zichen might as well directly give him a wave of pain. Huang Yi, who was lying on the bed, was still crying. Yi Zichen raised his hand and patted his back. Stop shouting. Stop shouting. Tell me how your right leg feels. It hurts. Huang Yi was in so much pain that tears fell out. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. It definitely hurt. If it didn't hurt, then there wouldn't be anything wrong with his leg. As for the others, it's still a bit itchy. Huang Yi carefully felt the feeling from his right leg. The moment he said that, he was stunned. Wait. His leg shouldn't be able to feel anything. Zichen Ji. Huang Yi, who reacted, turned his head and looked at Yi Zichen with a look of uncertainty. Don't look at me, endure it. Yi Zichen pressed down on the acupoint again. At the next moment, cries and screams once again sounded out from Huang Yi's bedroom. Huang Xingmei, who was outside, clenched her fist tightly. Every time someone screamed in the bedroom, her heart would ache. However, she was even more expectant. Since Huang Yi could feel pain, it meant that Yi Zichen had a way. After an entire hour, Huang Yi was covered in sweat from the pain, as if he had just been fished out of the water. Yi Zichen didn't relax either, his clothes were soaked in sweat. Zichen, my little brother, he. Huang Xingmei looked worriedly at Huang Yi, who was lying on the bed. Yi Zichen sat on the floor and panted heavily. His situation is pretty good. Then can he stand up? That was what Huang Xingmei had been worried about. Yes. Yi Zichen pursed his lips and smiled, then said with certainty. Ding dong. Your affability level with Huang Xingmei increased by 10. Current affability level, 500. Your affability level with Huang Xingmei increased. Chapter 96. A destined marriage. Yi Zichen was truly shocked. How did their relationship as lovers get confirmed out of nowhere? He didn't do anything at all. He didn't know how Huang Xingmei's marriage string came out. When he was in the hospital, the affability level also increased. This time, she came to help his little brother take a look at his leg. The affability level directly went to 500. This was too strange. Yi Zichen had to have a proper talk with Yu Lao when he got back. He had to ask him if he was behind all this. It was fine with the other female companions, but he was truly confused about Huang Xingmei. How's little brother's situation? Yi Zichen could tell from Huang Xingmei's words that she didn't say my little brother. She said little brother. This was already subtly conveying that this was my little brother, and also your little brother. Yi Zichen felt a headache, but he still acted like he didn't know what she was thinking, and explained calmly. His situation is rather serious. He's paralyzed and his meridians are very blocked. I just helped him open up a bit of the blocked meridians, but if he wants to completely recover, he still needs to be treated later. Really? That's great. Huang Yi had always been a thorn in her heart. The relationship between the siblings was very good. However, both her and her little brother were getting old, so it was rather troublesome to take care of them. More importantly, she didn't want her little brother to sit in a wheelchair forever. She also wanted to see him get married and have children. Yi Zichen's eyes glistened with tears. He could understand her current feelings very well. He raised his hand and rubbed her hair, causing Huang Xingmei's face to instantly blush. Ding dong. Your affability level with Huang Xingmei increased by 5. Current affability level, 505. It increased again. I want to treat you to a meal, is that okay? Huang Xingmei sorted out her emotions, then pursed her lips and asked with an expectant tone. Yi Zichen instantly panicked a bit. Touching her head increased 5 affability level. Who knows how much it would increase if they ate a meal. It was more likely that the two of them directly skipped the first 3 steps of being lovers and directly entered the last step. Yi Zichen looked at Huang Yi, who was lying on the bed, and said, "Let's eat next time. Huang Yi just got a bit better. I feel like it would be better for you to stay here and take care of him." Oh yeah. You're really thoughtful. Next time then. Ding dong. Your favorable impression level with Huang Xinghao increased by 10. Current favorable impression level, 510. Pooh. Yi Zichen truly wanted to cough up blood. A single sentence increased the affability level again. Yi Zichen reminded Huang Xingmei to not let Huang Yi touch cold water for the time being, and told her to use hot water to soak his feet and massage him more. Then, he hurriedly left the room. Yi Zichen found a nearby cold drink store, then took out his phone and sent a bunch of messages to Yu Lao. "Yu Lao, come out. Hurry up. I have an urgent matter to discuss with you. Don't pretend you're not here. I'm going to get angry. If you're angry, don't even think about taking cigarettes from me anymore. Are you coming out or not?" Not long later, Yi Zichen spammed Yu Lao's chat with him. Right now, his heart was really on fire. Yi Zichen definitely wasn't trying to act innocent after getting the benefit. Huang Xingmei's matter truly made him speechless. Even though she did look pretty good, he couldn't just fall in love with every single person he saw, right? Yi Zichen asked for a cup of iced watermelon juice and drank it all in a few gulps. He had to get rid of his anger. Only when he finished drinking the watermelon juice did Yu Lao slowly reply. In a meeting. In a meeting. The heavenly court is still in a meeting. I think you don't want cigarettes anymore, right? Celestial friend, why are you like this? We're all people of the heavenly court, don't be like this. It seemed like Yu Lao was rather nervous about cigarettes. If you want cigarettes, then answer a few questions for me. Celestial friend, please say it. Did you set up all of my marriages? Yi Zichen had already thought it through. If this geezer dared to say yes, then he had to make a deal with this geezer. He was in Huaxia, a society ruled by law. Monogamy. He couldn't handle all of these women being shoved around him. I only set up a string for celestial friend. Yu Lao's reply shocked Yi Zichen. He only set up a string? Doesn't that mean that he only helped me sign Su Yan's? Then where did the others come from? Xia Kiki, Xiao Yumei, Huang Xingmei. All of them had marriage strings in his treasure chest. Are you sure? Yeah, I'll say something that celestial friend might not be happy about. I'm in charge of the marriages in the 3 realms, so I have to keep an eye on too many marriages. I can't just watch celestial friend all the time, right? If celestial friend is fated to get married recently, then it only means that it's fated to be fated, or rather, it's fated to be fated in your previous life. Yi Zichen fell into deep thought when he saw Yu Lao's message. The geezer was telling the truth. He was in charge of the marriages in the 3 realms, so he couldn't just watch over him all the time. Even if he wanted to do that, the Jade Emperor wouldn't let him. However, Yi Zichen was truly shocked when he heard, fated. Fated. It seems like he was a romantic in his previous life. Yu Lao can't take the blame anymore. Ding dong. Yi Zichen sent Yu Lao a red packet, then casually sent a message over. Alright, go have your meeting. I'm fine here. Yu Lao received your red packet. Thank you, celestial friend. Oh yeah, celestial friend, what seat are you at? Let's get together after the meeting. Geezer Grand Supreme wants to see you as well. Just as Yi Zichen was about to close the chat, Yu Lao suddenly sent another message. Yi Zichen was stunned for a moment before replying. I won't be in the heavenly court recently. Not? That can't be right? Celestial friend. The Jade Emperor personally called for the meeting this time. All the deities are here, and even the Buddhists of the Western Buddhist region are here. How can you not be here? What is the heavenly court doing? Is it a year-end meeting? Why is it so grand? Wait. Yi Zichen suddenly noticed something important. All the deities are here. You're saying that all the deities in the heavenly court are here? Yes. Yi Zichen instantly smiled when he saw Yu Lao's reply. Clap. Yi Zichen clapped his hands. All the deities are here. This is definitely a huge opportunity for me. I've already made up my mind to open a supermarket in the heavenly court. I only have one sales channel right now, which is the heavenly court's group chat. There are plenty of deities in the heavenly court's group chat, but it definitely doesn't include all the deities. What's more, if I want to open up a sales channel in the heavenly court, I can't just rely on sending red packets in the group. It doesn't cover a lot of people. Coincidentally, all the deities have returned to the heavenly court for a meeting. This is definitely the icing on the cake, giving me a pillow when I'm feeling sleepy. Yi Zichen didn't care what kind of meeting they were having, all he needed to know was that all the deities were here. Yi Zichen clicked open the WeChat group chat, then clicked on the deities he added. He hesitated for a moment when he saw Neza, but he still clicked on it. As for Tai-Bai jinxing, never mind. Ding dong. The chat group was created. Chapter 97. Supermarket Endorser Selection. The chat group had just been created, but the immortals in the group had already started to chat in the group. Monkey King, who added Old Sun into the group. Erlingshin, damn monkey, why are you here? Zhu Beiji, monkey bro. Monkey King, idiot, why are you here? Third Prince Neza, Aya, why are you here? Old Lord Taishang, can't you guys focus on the meeting? Do you still want your year-end bonus? Yu Lao, what's the situation? Yi Zichen was truly speechless when he saw the deities speak one after another. Are these people really having a meeting? Monkey King and Erlangshun started fighting the moment they saw each other. Third Prince Neza really wanted to stop them, but seeing that he couldn't interfere, he didn't. Old Lord Taishang and Yu Lao treated this place as a private chat room. They started talking about who had the chance to win the best of the year in this conference. However, this was also good. The people that were dragged in were all living people. Yi Zichen changed the name of the chat group to Supermarket Spokesperson Selection, then sent a message in the group. Ahem, stop for a moment. The moment Yi Zichen spoke, the people in the group instantly stopped. However, after a short period of silence, the group was in an uproar again. Erlingshin, bro, why are you here? Monkey King, you dragged old son here? Canopy Marshal, Great Immortal. Third Prince Neza, Celestial Sovereign. Old Lord Taishang, it's actually a fellow Daoist. Yu Lao, why are you looking for us? Can't they see who invited them? Why are you so alarmed? Yi Zichen suppressed the ridicule in his heart. I wanted to talk to you about my brother. Yi Zichen was definitely not going to give up on the business opportunities in the heavenly court. There were so many treasures in the treasure shop waiting for him to buy. He had to do business in the heavenly court. But the premise was that there needed to be a sales opportunity. What did sales rely on now? Celebrity effect. To put it plainly, he needed a spokesperson. If Yi Zichen's guess was correct, the 6 people in the group definitely had some authority in the heavenly court. Especially Canopy Marshal. When it came to food, he was definitely the best in the heavenly court. Thus, Yi Zichen decided. He wanted to make them his spokesperson. Yi Zichen pondered for a moment as he looked at the deities in the group, then sent a message. Everyone should know the situation of this sovereign in the secret place, and you should also know that I have obtained some treasures here. Canopy Marshal, I know. A row of drooling emojis. Yu Lao, fellow Daoist cigarette can be said to be the best. Old Lord Taishang, I know. Third Prince Neza, Nutrient Express is delicious. Monkey King, that's a really good treasure. Erlingshin, bro, the book you sent is really nice. All of them had tasted the sweetness of Yi Zichen's gift. It was obvious that his treasures were well received by the deities. I want to open up a market for these treasures in the heavenly court. I wonder if everyone here can lend me a hand. Yi Zichen was afraid that they wouldn't work, so he added. I won't help for nothing. There are benefits. Boom. The people in the group instantly exploded. With Canopy Marshal as the leader, they kept talking about what benefits they could get. On the other hand, Yu Lao and Old Lord Taishang were much calmer. What do we need to do? It's very simple. Promote this sovereign's products in everyone's circle of friends. I will create a chat group later. When that happens, as long as someone in your circle of friends is interested in this sovereign's treasures, you can add them to that group. Everyone, you can get a 2,000 yuan shopping card for every deity you add. At the same time, you can enjoy the discount of shopping with this sovereign. The more deities you add, the more discount you will get. The moment that was said, everyone in the group turned silent. Yi Zichen stared at the chat group nervously. His proactionary attack was either succeed or die trying. If he failed here, then it would be rather troublesome to open up a market in the heavenly court later on. But on the other hand, if he succeeded, then the benefits he would get would definitely be far greater than if he slowly promoted it. Monkey King, that's too unfair. You want me, old son, to pay? I, old son, don't get a salary from the heavenly court, and I'm not as rich as the god of fortune, Erlingshin. Bro, you should know that I'm about to die of poverty. Third Prince Neza, all of my pocket money is with Daddy. Canopy Marshal, Celestial Sovereign, I don't think that's possible. None of the people in the heavenly court are especially rich. Yi Zichen slapped his thigh when he saw the deities' replies. I was so focused on brainwashing them that I actually forgot to tell them how to make a deal. From the looks of it, they probably subconsciously thought that they needed the heavenly court's money to buy things. This sovereign's goods don't need the heavenly court's money, what I need is cultivation experience. At the same time, I can also use items to exchange. Monkey King. Cultivation experience, what do you need such useless things for? Erlingshin. Bro, could it be that you're in the stage of breaking through and need cultivation experience? F***ck. Could cultivation experience not be important in the heavenly court? Why do they sound like cultivation experience is like cabbages and they can get as much as they want? But Yu Lao also said that cultivation experience was very important. When he just entered the group, God of Thunder got 1,000 cultivation experience, which made everyone envious. What Yi Zichen didn't know was that the heavenly court had been established for who knows how long. Cultivation experience was way too common for these deities. But that was good, they didn't need it. Yi Zichen needed it. This sovereign does indeed need cultivation experience to break through. I wonder if fellow celestials can lend this sovereign a hand? Erlingshin. Bro is in trouble, I naturally have to help. Third Prince Neza. Sure, my dad taught me to take pleasure in helping others since I was young. Canopy Marshal. Great deity, just say the word, and this little deity will definitely do his best to help. Yu Lao, no problem. Old Lord Taishang, sure. Monkey King. Shouldn't we do something first? The first few deities were rather serious, but when it came to the Monkey King, just something. Every day only knows how to ask for benefit. But that doesn't matter. Yi Zichen naturally has to give them products in order for them to advertise in his WeChat moment. Didn't Coca-Cola give out Coke for free when it first started out? Since the deities got a taste of it first, then Yi Zichen wasn't afraid of them not spending it on him. Of course it's something, celestial friends should still be in a meeting. Continue with the meeting first, I'll send you all some treasures after the meeting ends. I'll have to trouble you then. No problem, no problem. Yi Zichen exited the chat group and called Su Yun under the deity's agreement. The supermarket had to be set up as soon as possible. Time was of the essence, so Yi Zichen wanted to use the end of the meeting to get the deities to promote it to the deities. Yi Zichen simply rushed Su Yun's progress, then hung up the phone. At that moment, his mood could be summed up with one word. That was beautiful. He felt a bit excited when he thought about how he would be able to earn cultivation experience like crazy when the deities come to buy things from him. When that happens, who cares about the fiery eyes of truth, the body freezing technique? What Book 1, Book 2, buy all of them. Chapter 98. Strange encounters in a cold drinks shop. Yi Zichen, who was holding his phone, smiled idiotically. His future had truly made him think too much, causing him to be unable to get over it. Lu Jing sat opposite him, supported her chin with her hands and stared at him speechlessly, then retorted. You're so dumb like this. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes in annoyance at being interrupted by a ghost. What do you know? Big Bro was just discussing business with the people from the Heavenly Court. Heavenly Court, do you understand? Crazy. Lu Jing twitched her mouth. Ghost. Just as Yi Zichen was fantasizing about his beautiful future, a scream suddenly sounded out in the cold drinks shop. Yi Zichen's heart skipped a beat. Did someone see Lu Jing? Lu Jing also opened her eyes wide in fright. The two of them looked over towards the source of the voice, and saw a woman with red high heels, who had a lot of makeup on her face, screaming in fright in the corner of the cold drinks shop, while the cold drinks shop's attendant stood in front of her. Phew! Both Yi Zichen and Lu Jing let out a long sigh. He wasn't calling Lu Jing. Yi Zichen stood up to leave the cold drinks shop with the mentality that it had nothing to do with him. However, just as he walked to the entrance of the cold drinks shop, he saw the attendant. Gee, you scared me to death. The woman with red high heels pretended to be terrified, then reached out her hand to grab the arm of the stocky man in front of her. The man looked up at the attendant, then instantly revealed a disgusted expression. Hurry up and F***ck off. Did you come out to scare people with such an ugly face? He picked up the cold drink on the table and chucked it towards the attendant. The waiter picked up the tray and blocked it. The cold drink spilled all over the woman's body. Ah, the woman with thick makeup screamed. Then, she instantly stood up and raised her hand to slap the attendant. Don't go too far. Yizichin hurried over from the side and grabbed the woman's hand, then pushed her to the side. At the same time, he turned around to look at the aggrieved attendant. Li Jiai, are you all right? Why are you here? Li Jiai's expression was clearly a bit unnatural when she saw Yizichin. That day at the hotel, Yizichin still refused to admit it. Brother Hu, at that moment, the woman that Yizichin pushed away also shouted. The stocky man instantly stood up and grabbed Yizichin's shoulder. Let go. Yizichin turned around indifferently and looked at the man who was grabbing his shoulder darkly. The man instantly felt a chill, and couldn't help but move his hand away from Yizichin's shoulder. I think this is a misunderstanding. What do you think? A faint chill once again spread to the bottom of Tiger's heart. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and there was only one thought in Tiger's mind. This kid was not to be trifled with. However, the woman beside him didn't think so much. She took a step forward and screamed at Yizichin and Li Jiai. Are you blind? Can't you see that this ugly woman made my clothes wet? Are these the new clothes I bought? If you say one more word, do you believe that I won't tear your mouth apart? Yizichin glared at him. As for your clothes, how much is it? I'll compensate you. Can you afford it? The woman said harshly. Tiger, who was on the side, secretly tugged at the woman beside him with a smile. Bro, you look rather familiar. Brother, you look a little familiar. Where are you from? Don't worry about where I'm from. I'll compensate you guys for the clothes. Apologize to her. Apologize? Dream on, the harshly woman called out once again. Hee slap. Yizichin slapped the harshly woman's face. After that, Yizichin shook his hand, while a dark look appeared in his eyes. Don't turn a deaf ear to what I've told you. You actually dared to hit me. The harshly woman was stunned for a moment. Then, she reached out her hand towards Yizichin's face. What she got in return was another slap. Don't test my patience. Huji. The woman beside him covered her face and shook the man's shoulder coyly. However, the man ignored her and spoke with a trembling voice. You're young Master Yi, right? Yizichin raised his eyebrows. He didn't think that this brat actually knew him. Know me? Huji felt that Yizichin looked familiar from the start, but he couldn't remember where. It wasn't until Yizichin slapped his woman that he remembered. This person was definitely a powerful fiend. Gulp. Huji gulped, then raised his hand and slapped the woman beside him. Apologize. Huji's slap directly stunned the harshly woman. She looked at him in shock, then exploded. Zhao Hu, you actually dared to hit Laonyang. You dared to hit Laonyang. The harshly woman raised her hand towards Zhao Hu's face. Zhao Hu clenched his teeth, then grabbed the harshly woman's arm and pushed it back before slapping her again. Lu Zhu, apologize to Yi. Hurry up. F*CKU. Zhao Hu, just you wait for this old lady. And you too, just you wait. The harshly woman screamed as she left the cold drinks store. Zhao Hu gulped and cursed the woman for being retarded in his heart. She did have some ability, but compared to young Master Yi, she was nothing. Young Master Yi, it seems like this woman is stronger than you? Yizichin twitched his mouth with a smile, then indicated towards Li Jiai. Apologize. Sorry, Sis Yi, I didn't recognize Mt Tai. Li Jiai, who was on the side, blushed, while Yizichin also revealed a shocked expression. Just what kind of brain does this brat have? His imagination is so huge. Never mind, I didn't do anything. Leave. Li Jiai pursed her lips, as if all the anger in her heart had been dissipated by Zhao Hu calling her Sis Yi. Yizichin raised his eyebrows and cursed back. Hey, okay. Zhao Hu scrambled away from the cold drink store. At the same time, Yi Zichen also turned around and said softly, "Why did you come here to work? Weren't you at Golden Spring? Why did you come here to work? Weren't you in Jinchun at that time?" To be honest, Li Jiai's emotions were very complicated. She blamed Yi Zichen for not daring to admit what he did, but he stood up for her just now. She blamed Yi Zichen for not daring to take responsibility for what he did, but he stood up for her just now. "Brother, it's them." The harshly woman, who had just left the cold drinks store, returned with a few policemen beside her. The policeman walked towards Yi Zichen with a frown and scanned Yi Zichen up and down arrogantly. "I suspect that you are related to the gang involved in the recent smuggling cases. Please come back to the police station with us to assist in the investigation." "Me?" Yi Zichen pointed at himself in shock, while Li Jiai couldn't help but speak up. Li Jiai couldn't help but speak up, "Officer, you probably got the wrong person." When the policeman saw the birthmark on Li Jiai's face, undisguised disgust surfaced in his eyes. Chapter 99. Have an accident. Lu Zhu looked on proudly from the side. Yi Zichen glanced at her and immediately knew that she'd found this person. The manager of the cold drink shop also rushed over at this time. The manager was a kind-looking uncle. When he saw the police coming over, he quickly smiled apologetically. "Officer comrade, would you like a cold drink? It's my treat. There's a table over there. Come and sit. Don't try to get close." The police officer Lu Zhu pushed the boss to the side, then pointed at Yi Zichen and Li Jiai. "Take them away." "Sir, it must be a misunderstanding." The manager smiled apologetically with a worried expression. "Don't talk to me about misunderstandings. Your staff is involved in a smuggling case. If you don't want your store to get into trouble, then don't be a busybody." The manager was stunned when he heard this accusation. Li Jiai chuckled, signaling the manager not to worry. She raised her head and sneered at the police officer. "How can you say that I have something to do with the smuggling case? I think you're just abusing your position for personal gain. Brother, don't waste time talking to her. Just take her away." Lu Zhu laughed coldly on the side. Yi Zichen licked his lips and glanced at the woman. A wave of cold air instantly rose up from the bottom of her feet. She subconsciously took a step back. Yi Zichen smiled. "Don't worry. Officer Lu?" The police officer was taken aback. "You know me." Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and smiled. "If Lu Zhu's older brother isn't surnamed Lu, then should he be surnamed Yi? Our Yi family doesn't have a grandson like you." "Curse me?" Officer Lu smiled sinisterly and snorted. "I hope you can still be so eloquent when you get to the station and arrest the two of them." "Wait a moment." Yi Zichen raised his hand to stop the police officer, who rushed over and smiled. "Are you sure you want to capture me? If you really capture me, I'm afraid you won't be able to bear the responsibility." That fearless tone made Officer Lu stunned for a moment. Could it be that there was someone behind this kid? Yi Zichen looked towards Yi Zichen with a frown. Yi Zichen was dressed like a street vendor, and he didn't have any recollection of such a person. For a moment, Officer Lu sneered. The smugglers are already so arrogant. Take them away." Without any explanation, the other two police officers surrounded him. Yi Zichen shook off the two policemen's hands with a snort. "I will leave on my own, but I hope you won't regret it." Unsurprisingly, Li Jiai was also brought to the station, but the two of them did not go straight to the interrogation room. Instead, they were locked in a room by Officer Lu. His hands were cuffed to the radiator in the room. "Yi Zichen, what do we do?" Li Jiai frowned worriedly. This was her first time going to the police station. "Don't worry." On the other hand, Yi Zichen was clearly much calmer. He had already sent a message to Commissioner Lu before coming, so the city police station should be calling him soon. When the time came, there would be a time to deal with that bastard. "Yi Zichen, look, isn't that Officer Lin's boyfriend?" Lu Qing floated in midair and reached out her hand towards the window. Yi Zichen glanced outside. Well, it was true. Lu Chang. Zhao Ziming stopped Lu Chang. Captain Zhao, I heard that you caught a smuggler called Yi Zichen, right? Zhao Ziming squinted his eyes. Hearing that, Lu Chang felt his scalp tingle. Could that brat know Captain Zhao? Captain Zhao, you, don't be nervous. Zhao Ziming reached out his hand and patted Lu Chang's shoulders, then handed him a towel. If you really caught Yi Zichen, then make him feel good. You know how to use it, right? Lu Chang instantly smiled when he saw the towel in Zhao Ziming's hand. He didn't think that this brat actually had a grudge with Captain Zhao as well. Understood. All right, go. Don't leave any traces. Zhao Ziming patted Lu Chang's shoulders, then turned around to look at Yi Zichen before turning around to leave. Ai, why did he leave? Lu Jing exclaimed involuntarily. Yi Zichen smiled. There was definitely something wrong with this grandson. Creak. The door to the room was opened from the outside, and Li Chang walked in with a towel and a police baton. Yi Zichen's pupils contracted when he saw the towel. It was the towel that Zhao Ziming gave him. Brat, confess. The first thing Lu Chang did after entering the room was lock the door and close the curtains. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and smiled. I don't have anything to confess. Is that so? It seems like the organization treats you pretty well. You're pretty tough. Lu Chang walked towards Yi Zichen with a chuckle, then swung the towel towards Yi Zichen's stomach, then directly hit him with the police baton. F***CKU. Yi Zichen snorted, then kicked Lu Chang, causing him to roll over. Lu Chang, who crawled up from the ground, patted the dust off his body, while his expression darkened. You actually dared to assault a police officer. The towel was wet and the police baton instantly turned on, crackle. Yi Zichen, who was leaning on the radiator, instantly twitched. Yi Zichen! Yi Zichen! Lu Qing and Li Jiai shouted at the same time. At the same time, Lu Chang also put down the police baton and patted Yi Zichen's face. Confess or not? Confess your mom. TSK, Yi Zichen spat over, then wiped his face with the towel. Then, he increased the frequency of the police baton in his hand and stabbed Yi Zichen once again. Ugh! Ugh! Yi Zichen started to tremble intensely, while Li Jiai also shouted from the other side. Li Jiai also shouted, help! Someone's lynching! Slap! Lu Chang slapped Li Jiai's face. Yi Zichen opened his eyes in a daze and saw this scene. F***CKU. Come at me if you have the guts. Hee hee, I couldn't tell, but you're rather heroic. But, your eyes are a bit bad. Crackle. Another baton hit Yi Zichen. Confess or not? TSK, Yi Zichen opened his eyes weakly, then spat towards Lu Chang with a smile. Yi Zichen. Li Jiai tried her best to help Yi Zichen, causing her wrists to bleed from the friction. Lu Qing, who floated in midair, also stomped her feet anxiously. She wanted to help Yi Zichen, but Yi Zichen gave her a death order to not move. Why is Dad so slow? Lu Qing bit her lips, then could only watch as Yi Zichen got hit by Lu Chang's baton again and again. At the same time, Commissioner Lu sat in his office and looked at the recent big cases. The office door was pushed open, and Officer Zhang walked in from outside. Commissioner Lu, the phone is fully charged. Oh, put it there. Commissioner Lu didn't even bat an eyelid. Officer Zhang put down the phone and left the office. After a long while, Commissioner Lu put down the case in his hands, then turned on his phone while rubbing his temples. Not long later, a message from Lil Yi appeared on his phone. Commissioner Lu quickly opened the message and was instantly stunned. He looked at the time of the message. Slap. Chapter 100. Turn the tables. Li Jiai, who was chained to the radiator, was sobbing uncontrollably. Yi Zichen looked as if he'd just been fished out of the water. Bean-sized beads of sweat rolled down his chin and onto the ground. Whoosh! She stabbed Yi Zichen with the baton once more, causing the nearly unconscious Yi Zichen to tremble violently once more. Lu Chang licked his lips with a sinister smile. He grabbed Yi Zichen's hair and slapped him across the face. Brat, why don't you continue to be arrogant? Yi Zichen's eyelids drooped, while his lips twitched. Lu Chang revealed a playful smile. Don't worry. What do you want to say? As he spoke, Lu Chang moved his ear closer. IF*CKU bang. Lu Chang squinted his eyes and snorted as he directly hit Yi Zichen's stomach with the baton. Stubborn, huh? As soon as he finished speaking, he walked towards Li Jiai with his baton. Is this your woman? Lu Chang grabbed Li Jiai's chin and smiled. You don't say. If you don't look at her face, she's pretty good. Especially this figure, TSK, it's really exquisite. Let me go. Li Jiai struggled with all her might. Seeing that, Yi Zichen, who had nearly lost consciousness, also struggled to stand up. Grandson, if you have the ability, come and mess with me. Grandpa is not afraid of you. Hee bang. Yi Zichen coughed up a mouthful of blood as he struck him again. At this moment, the phone in Lu Chang's pocket rang. He looked at the caller ID, then snorted towards Yi Zichen. Consider yourself lucky. Lu Chang casually gave Yi Zichen another blow, then walked out of the room with his phone. Yi Zichen! Li Jiai cried. Yi Zichen looked up dispiritedly and smiled. Don't be afraid. That grandson will suffer later. At that moment, Lu Jing also floated over and reached out her hand in an attempt to stop Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen, you have to hold on. My dad will come and save you very soon. Hee. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and smiled foolishly as he continuously nodded. Director Wang. Lu Chang stood outside the room and answered the phone in his usual tone. Let me ask you, did you catch a criminal called Yi Zichen just now? Why did the director mention this? Lu Chang's heart raced. He gulped. Yes, we did capture someone called Yi Zichen. He's related to the smuggling case, so Your ass! Superintendent Wang suddenly roared. I'm telling you, hurry up and release Yi Zichen. The Municipal Public Security Bureau had already sent someone over to pick him up. Also, you must put in a good word for him and apologize properly, understand? Lu Chang's hand trembled fiercely, his pupils dilated, and a thin layer of sweat appeared on his forehead. I understand. Humph. Superintendent Wang snorted and said, Oh yeah, you didn't give Mr. Yi a lesson, right? The lesson was referring to what he did to Yi Zichen earlier. Lu Chang's heart was about to explode. He swallowed his saliva and gritted his teeth. No, consider yourself lucky. Otherwise, even 10 heads wouldn't be enough for you. When the people from the Municipal Public Security Bureau arrive, talk to them properly. Alright, that's all. The call ended. At the same time, a police car stopped in front of the police station. Lin Xie, who was wearing a police cap, ran in hurriedly with 3 police officers behind her. Xie, why did you come? Zhao Ziming came out of the office with a smile. Lin Xie frowned and said. Ziming, did you guys arrest Yi Zichen? Yi Zichen? This name is so familiar. Zhao Ziming revealed a look of confusion. After a long while, he came to a realization. Isn't that the name of our benefactor? I've never heard of anyone arresting him? Then hurry up and ask your colleagues. Yi Zichen was arrested by your people. I came under orders to protect him. Lin Xie's face was filled with nervousness. She immediately hurried over after receiving Superintendent Lu's call. Although she didn't like Yi Zichen very much before, ever since last time, her impression of him had changed greatly. Zhao Ziming's expression darkened when he felt Lin Xie's worry for Yi Zichen. However, he still put on a shocked expression on his face. Alright, I'll make a call right away. Lu Chang was completely dumbfounded after speaking with Superintendent Wang. He sat limply on the floor, while his phone had already fallen to the side. Lu Chang. At that moment, Zhao Ziming's shout sounded out beside Lu Chang's ear. Captain Zhao. Yes, Captain Zhao told me to do all of this. He gave me the towel, he told me to do this. I did all of this under Captain Zhao's orders. Captain Zhao, save me. Lu Chang crawled over while kneeling on the floor. Zhao Ziming looked at him with a dark expression. Where's Yi Zichen? There. Lu Chang pointed at the room, while Lin Xie directly ran towards the room. Lin Xie's heart ached when she saw the terrible scene in the room. Yi Zichen, wake up! Yi Zichen! She hugged Yi Zichen's neck tightly and shouted his name loudly. At that moment, Lu Chang and Zhao Ziming also walked in. When they saw Lin Xie hug Yi Zichen, Zhao Ziming's expression darkened once again. Give me the key! Lin Xie practically roared. Lu Chang took out the key with a pale face. After quickly unlocking Yi Zichen's handcuffs, Lin Xie continuously shouted his name. Yi Zichen, wake up! Wake up! At the same time, the other police officers also unlocked Li Jiai's handcuffs. Then, she directly ran to Yi Zichen's side and pushed Lin Xie onto the floor. F***ck off! You dare to assault a police officer! Zhao Ziming shouted. None of you are good. Li Jie glared at Zhao Ziming and roared, then hugged Yi Zichen's head and cried. Yi Zichen, don't scare me. Hurry up and wake up. Yi Zichen, you! Zhao Ziming's expression darkened. However, Lin Xie pulled him back and smiled coldly. Zhao Ziming, look at the good team you lead. With that, she turned around and shouted at the police officers behind her. Hurry up and call 120. Hurry up and call 120. Also, arrest him for me. The police officers that Lin Xie brought immediately dialed the emergency number and restrained Lu Chang. Lu Chang's entire face was filled with terror. He reached out his hand and shouted towards Zhao Ziming. Captain Zhao, save me. This is all because of you. Bang. Zhao Ziming, who was standing on the side, kicked Lu Chang's stomach, causing the two police officers who were restraining him to fall onto the ground as well. It's truly an embarrassment for me to have a team member like you under my command. Captain Zhao. Lu Chang still wanted to say something, but he was scared back by Zhao Ziming's intimidating gaze. He knew. He had no chance to make a comeback. Cough, cough. At that moment, Yi Zichen, who was lying in Li Jiai's arms, suddenly coughed intensely. Lin Xie quickly went over, but she could only look at him worriedly from afar due to Li Jiai's gaze. Zichen, you woke up. Li Jiai instantly smiled when she saw Yi Zichen open his eyes. Ha! Laozi is going to make a comeback. Chapter 101. Unscrupulous old Lord Taishang Yi Zichen, you scared me to death. Li Jiai hugged Yi Zichen's neck tightly, while Lin Xie also watched worriedly from a distance. Yi Zichen panted heavily, then rubbed Li Jiai's hair weakly. What are you crying for? Aren't I perfectly fine? You, Li Jiai sobbed once again when she thought of the scene just now. Yi Zichen licked his lips, then struggled to sit up and lean against the wall. He looked up at Lu Chang, who had a pale face, and Zhao Ziming, who had a sullen expression. What's more, when he looked at Zhao Ziming actually looked at him with a worried expression. A playful smile flashed across Yi Zichen's face, causing Zhao Ziming's heart to jump. He really knows how to act. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth in disdain. At that moment, Lin Xie also spoke up. Yi Zichen, believe me, I will definitely give you justice. None of you are good people. Li Jiai bit her lips and cursed with her red eyes. Li Jiai bit her lip and scolded her with reddened eyes. Don't think that I don't know what you're trying to do. You just want to take him away, and after a while, you'll... As she spoke, Li Jiai cried again. Lin Xie was unable to say anything for a long time due to Li Jiai's words. Words were no proof. After experiencing the scene just now, it was very hard for Li Jiai to believe her. Yi Zichen, you should believe me, right? Lin Xie revealed a look of anticipation. Yi Zichen nodded. All right, I'll be fine. Yi Zichen nodded. I can trust Officer Lin, but I want to deal with this myself. As soon as he finished speaking, he raised his head and looked at Zhao Ziming with a smile. I made a comeback, didn't I? Zhao Ziming smiled dryly and pretended to not know. Lin Xie looked back with a confused expression. At the same time, Yi Zichen also took out his phone and found old Lord Taishang's chat. "Old man, do you have any pills that can restore physical strength and heal injuries?" "Yes," old Lord Taishang instantly replied. "Send one over. 500 cultivation experience." If old Lord Taishang was in the modern era, he would definitely be a scammer. In such a short period of time, this old man had already realized the importance of cultivation in the later stages. He kept talking about cultivation, and he even asked for so much. No. Just how hard was it to earn cultivation experience? Yi Zichen felt like he wanted money more than his life. But he just wanted to lower the price. Who would have thought? Forget it then. Old Lord Taishang completely ignored Yi Zichen's stubble. Yi Zichen was truly shocked. This B***starred was definitely a profiteer. Although 500 cultivation experience was not a small amount, but for his own body, alright, send it. Now the price has risen to 1000 cultivation experience. F***CKU. Yi Zichen truly wanted to curse. This geezer is too evil. He doubled the price in such a short amount of time. Fine. Yi Zichen nodded silently to himself. Since this geezer dared to mess with me, then don't blame me for messing with this geezer in the future. Ding dong. Yi Zichen directly took out 1000 cultivation experience from his celestial plate and sent it over. After old Lord Taishang accepted the red packet, he also sent the pills over to Yi Zichen. You have received old Lord Taishang's red packet. 3-stripe body restoration pill X13 inscription body recovery pill. Tier 3 immortal pill. Able to rapidly recover one's exhausted physical strength and minor external injuries. Withdraw. Yi Zichen intentionally turned around when he was withdrawing it. He couldn't reveal this secret here. The body recovery pill was green in color, and had 3 pill inscriptions on it. The pill tasted slightly sweet. The moment it entered his stomach, Yi Zichen could feel a ball of fire rise up in his dantian, while his body's functions also started to recover. In mere moments, Yi Zichen, who was extremely weak, completely recovered his strength and stood up from the ground. Yi Zichen, Li Jie and Lin Xie were both stunned. Yi Zichen looked like he was about to die just now. However, just how long has it been? He actually became completely fine. This can't be the final radiance of a setting sun, right? Li Jie cried again as she spoke. Yi Zichen reached out his hand and caressed her hair with a smile. Can't you hope for something good from me? After comforting Li Jie, Yi Zichen slowly walked in front of Zhao Ziming and Lu Chang. Young Master Yi, let me go. Lu Chang could only shout helplessly under the restraints of the police. Yi Zichen ignored her and instead smiled towards Zhao Ziming. Captain Zhao, what do you think we should do? Zhao Ziming had been a bit nervous from the start. When he heard Yi Zichen's meaningful question, his shoulders trembled even more. Lin Xie squinted her eyes and examined their positions. She also had a feeling that Yi Zichen had been targeting Zhao Ziming. Captain Zhao? Seeing that Zhao Ziming didn't say anything for a long time, Yi Zichen shouted again. Mr. Yi, what are you talking about? You're Xia's savior, yet my team members actually attacked you and even put such a big hat on you. It's my fault for not disciplining them properly. Yuxi is also here, so it's very reasonable for me to let her handle it. Is that so? Yi Zichen nodded. In other words, Captain Zhao doesn't know anything about this? Of course, I was also shocked when I first got the news, Zhao Ziming replied with an awkward smile. He clearly knows. This guy, Lu Jing, who was floating in the air, cursed. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile. Don't worry. Then can Captain Zhao go out first and leave this place to us? About this, Zhao Ziming revealed a troubled expression. Zhao Ziming? Lin Xie frowned. Sure. Zhao Ziming instantly chuckled when he saw Lin Xie's expression, then walked out of the room. Then the 2 police bros should go out as well. Yi Zichen pointed at the 2 police officers that Lin Xie brought. These are my people. Lin Xie thought that Yi Zichen misunderstood, so she quickly said, then we still have to go out." After the police officers left the room, only Yi Zichen, Li Jiai, Lin Xie and Lu Chang remained. "Yi Zichen, what exactly do you want to do?" "I want you to recognize a person." Yi Zichen looked at Lin Xie with a smile, then walked beside Lu Chang. Lin Xie stood on the spot with a confused expression. Then, her expression drastically changed. "I hope it's not what I think." Lu Chang, who was paralyzed on the floor, grabbed Yi Zichen's leg and begged like a madman. "Young Master Yi, let me go." "Sure, but you have to let go first." Yi Zichen's face was filled with a warm smile. Everyone in the room thought that there was something wrong with their ears, while Li Jiai shouted from behind. "Yi Zichen, you can't let him go. He treated you like that." He gave Li Jiai a reassuring look and squatted in front of Lu Chang. "I can let you go, but I need you to answer a question." "Go ahead, young Master Yi." This could be said to be Lu Chang's last chance. He had to seize it. Otherwise, his life would be ruined. Chapter 102. White Impermanence had a request: take him away. Lin Xie looked at Lu Chang coldly, while the two policemen she brought immediately brought him to the police car. "Xie, how was it? What did you guys say just now?" Zhao Ziming walked up from the side after taking a glance. Lin Xie put on her usual expression and smiled. "I just asked him if there were any other instructions." "Then what did he say?" Zhao Ziming's tone was clearly a bit nervous. Lin Xie shook her head. "He didn't say. He just said that he had a grudge with Yi Zichen." "I guess I'm unlucky, but Officer Lin, you have to give me justice." Yi Zichen sighed softly, then reached out to grab Li Jiai, who was beside him. "It seems like there's nothing else for me here, so I'll be leaving first." After leaving the police station, Li Jiai could no longer suppress the confusion in her heart. "Yi Zichen, why didn't you guys directly arrest that person called Zhao Ziming when Lu Chang confessed just now?" Dong. Yi Zichen knocked her head. "You really are stupid enough. You're really stupid. How are you going to catch him without any proof? Although Lu Chang confessed, there was no recording, so it can't be considered evidence." Li Jiai rubbed her head with a pout. Yi Zichen smiled, then stretched lazily. "It's been a long afternoon. Do you want to go eat something together? I know there's a Western restaurant that has really good steak." "Steak?" Ugh. Li Jiai, who was rather normal, suddenly retched. Yi Zichen quickly supported her and patted her back in comfort. "What happened to you? Are you all right? Do you need to go to the hospital?" Li Jiai looked up and looked at him with a complicated gaze, then bit her lip. "You still don't want to admit it?" Yi Zichen was completely confused. "What do I admit? I might be pregnant." Li Jiai bit her lips and stared straight into Yi Zichen's eyes. Yi Zichen was instantly stunned, then said frantically, "Whose child is it? Whose child is it? Who is the child's father? Why didn't I see it? He's too irresponsible." After a long time, Li Jiai looked at him with a complicated expression. "Isn't he you?" Yi Zichen was a bit confused. How did he suddenly become a father? When Tian saw him, she threw herself into his arms and called him daddy. Now that Li Jiai was pregnant, she even said that he was the father. What? Could it be that he had the halo of being a father? A hint of sadness flashed across Li Jiai's eyes when she saw Yi Zichen's terrified look. "I don't need you to take responsibility. I can abort the child. All I need is a word from you." "What did I say? I didn't even touch you and the child is mine?" Yi Zichen opened his eyes wide. He definitely admitted it without any hesitation. But he didn't do it and he couldn't take the blame. "You!" Li Jiai bit her lip and said angrily, "I was drugged that night and you stayed with me. The next day we were lying on the bed together. I was still naked and there were bloodstains on the bed. Do you still want to say it wasn't you?" Li Jiai threw caution to the wind. She couldn't beat a man's child for no reason. She had to at least get Yi Zichen's approval. Unexpectedly, Yi Zichen, who had a look of confusion just now, suddenly laughed. Is it very funny? Do you think I'm very funny? Li Jie scolded angrily. I know you're still in school, and I didn't want you to take this responsibility. I can slowly earn the money for the abortion, but at the very least, you have to let me know why I beat you. Yi Zichen reached out his hand with a smile and caressed Li Jie's hair. You're thinking too much. What? I didn't touch you at all that night. Yi Zichen smiled helplessly. Yi Zichen smiled helplessly. You were indeed drugged that day, but I didn't touch you. As for the blood on the bedsheets you saw the next day, wasn't that because your period coincidentally came? Impossible, Li Jie shook her head. She had suspected that the blood stains on the bedsheets might be her period. However, she had checked on the internet and found out that the only way to get rid of the effects of the drug was. I was actually. Yi Zichen suddenly blushed and smiled coyly. Actually, I'm a judo expert. Judo. Judo. Thud. Li Jie's face instantly turned bright red. At the same time, Yi Zichen also grabbed her wrist, then put it down after a while. It's about the same as I guessed. You've been suffering from a weak spleen and stomach lately, which is why you feel nauseous and vomiting. As for you retching when you hear those oily things, you can say that it's a mental problem. It's just a little bit of pregnancy fantasy. Li Jie bit her lips and was speechless for a long time. She never thought that she had been letting her imagination run wild all this time. That, if you're still worried, we can go to the hospital for a checkup. Yi Zichen laughed dryly on the side. Li Jie shook her head. No need, I believe you. The atmosphere was a little awkward. By the way, I have to hurry back to the shop, or else the manager will be worried. Li Jie suddenly spoke up amidst the silence. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. Then I'll send you back. No need, I can go back by myself. Li Jie called a taxi, then disappeared from Yi Zichen's sight. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shake his head and laugh. No wonder she'd said such strange things. In the end, it was a misunderstanding. However, none of that mattered. What mattered was that Zhao Ziming. Creak. Yi Zichen couldn't help but clench his fist when he thought of him. That grandson was definitely a despicable person. Back at the villa, Tian immediately threw herself into his arms. This little fellow had been quite happy staying here recently. With Little White playing with her, she had become a lot more cheerful. Yi Zichen played with Tian in the living room for a while, then bought some dog food for Lil White. Needless to say, the heavenly dog biscuits in the treasure shop were really expensive. 100 cultivation experience per bag. However, for the sake of Little White becoming a divine beast like the howling celestial dog in the future, Yi Zichen had to pay a hefty price. He bought 20 packets and let it eat as much as it wanted. But on the other hand, he had used up almost all of his cultivation experience. Yi Zichen laid on the bed in the bedroom and clicked on the celestial tablet. Immortal plate. Heavenly Lord Nameless cultivation experience. 3612, level 4 immortal official. Yi Zichen used up his cultivation experience, but he didn't lose his celestial title. However, Yi Zichen still didn't know what the celestial title was used for. The promotion system was still being explored. Yi Zichen rubbed his aching head, then prepared to log out of WeChat and sleep. Ding dong. His phone suddenly rang. It seemed like there was only that Miss White Impermanence who would look for him at this time every day. As expected, Yi Zichen clicked on the chat page. It was indeed White Impermanence looking for him. Chapter 103. Underworld Moments now available. White Impermanence had a request. Yi Zichen looked at the message and hesitated for a long time. No matter how he thought about it, he couldn't think of anything that could help White Impermanence. Did the Black Impermanence bully her again? In that case, there was nothing he could do to help. He couldn't go to the underworld to beat up the Black Impermanence. Moreover, even if they could go there, it was still their territory. It was hard to say who would be the one getting beaten up. What is it? Yi Zichen hesitated for a moment, then replied. You're really here. That's great. Yi Zichen could sense the excitement in his words. He scratched his head and replied. Well, didn't you say? Do you need something from me? Oh yes, it's like this. After a while, it will be King Qingguang's birthday. As a ghost messenger, I naturally have to send some gifts, but I don't have much money. Yi Zichen shook his shoulders. Although he was an atheist, he was curious about these gods and ghosts, so he looked it up on Baidu. The head of the underworld was the great sacred emperor equaling heavens, who was in charge of all living things, followed by the northern Necropolis emperor, and then the 5 ghost emperors. After the 5 ghost emperors were the 10 Yama kings. If this level was placed in a large modern company, it would be equivalent to the level of a manager. The White Impermanence should be considered a trainee supervisor in the underworld. Giving a gift to her immediate superior was definitely a big one. What gift do you want to give King Qingguang? Just don't be too normal. White Impermanence didn't dare to be too harsh. No matter what, she wasn't close with Yi Zichen. Alright, I understand. Yi Zichen nodded, then started to rummage through the room. He wasn't too sure what exactly the underworld had, but it should be about the same as the heavenly court. King Qingguang didn't sound young, and that cigarette would definitely move him. Yi Zichen took out a yushi from the drawer and scanned it like usual. Ding dong. Send failed. You do not have current permissions. Yi Zichen was a bit confused as he looked at the cigarette in his hand and the notification on the screen. He had never seen such a situation before. Could it be that the method was wrong? I can't send it to you. I don't have the authority to do so. Yi Zichen immediately sent a message to White Impermanence without thinking. As someone from the underworld, she should understand, right? Ding dong. As soon as the news came out, White Impermanence sent him a red packet. Collect. Ghost Controlling Talisman X1 Ding dong. The circle of friends in Hell was opened. Hell's red envelope function activated. The yin-yang box opened. The function of heaven and earth virtues was activated. The series of functions caused Yi Zichen to be completely stunned. He clicked on the My Function bar, and saw that a little ghost's profile picture had indeed appeared under the treasure chest and treasure shop, with the words yin-yang box written on it. Opening the yin-yang box, there was a talisman that White Impermanence had just sent over. Ghost Controlling Talisman, a common item in the netherworld. Effect, used to control ghosts. Current number of ghosts remaining, 3, try it this time. You should be able to send it to me. White Impermanence sent a message, causing Yi Zichen to open the scan page. Ding dong. He could still send it over. White Impermanence has received your red packet. You sent me a cigarette, right? After receiving the red packet, White Impermanence sent a message. Yi Zichen shuddered when he saw that. How did she know about cigarettes? Yes, it is indeed cigarettes. Does the underworld have them too? Ding dong. Your intimacy level with White Impermanence increased by 100. Current intimacy level, 300. No, but us ghost servants often go to the human realm, so we have heard of these. King Qingguang had said before that he wanted to try the cigarettes of the human realm. Thank you so much. Yi Zichen's worried heart finally calmed down when he saw this message. The underworld didn't have any products from the human realm. You're welcome, but I have something to ask of you. What is it? Yi Zichen reached out and touched the dragon eye beside his pillow. I want to know how to revive someone who died before their time, or is it possible? You're asking this for the girl beside you the other day, right? Yes. Although Lu Jing was very happy to be by his side recently, and it was very convenient sometimes, he wouldn't feel lonely even when he was alone. However, he still remembered what he said to Lu Jing when he told her to follow him. Let her live. Take revenge for her. When he saved Old Man Su, he had thought about using the 9 reincarnation soul pill to revive Lu Jing. However, Lu Jing's original body had already been cremated, so there was no way to revive her without her original body. If you want to resurrect her, it should be possible. What should I do? Yi Zichen's breathing became hurried, but White Impermanence's words caused his heart to sink. But I'm not sure. What the hell are you talking about? Yi Zichen really wanted to curse. As if feeling Yi Zichen's emotions, White Impermanence sent another message. The 10 Yama Kings should know. I'll help you ask on the day of the birthday feast. Thank you. After sending that message, Yi Zichen let out a long sigh and laid down on the bed. From the looks of it, it would take some time to revive Lu Jing. However, the thing that troubled him the most was revenge. The other party shouldn't be a good person. The next day, when Yi Zichen returned to school once again, he truly felt the change in the atmosphere. Fangirls could be seen shouting his name, some would even run over to ask to take a photo with him, while some even secretly gave him a note. The note had a phone number on it. It seemed like they were looking forward to a date. Kong Peng and Bai Yu were also discharged from the hospital. The people in the dorm decided to go out for a meal to celebrate. The moment Yi Zichen got downstairs, he saw the door of a black commercial car suddenly open, and several men dressed in black walked out of the car. Yi Zichen rubbed his temples and stood on the spot. At the same time, those people also walked in front of him. Mr. Yi. Yi Zichen was able to guess the origins of these people when he saw their attire and the standard commercial car of the management company. I said that I don't want to enter the entertainment industry. Go back and tell your boss to not come to school to find me. This will cause a lot of trouble for me. Yi Zichen glanced at the surrounding students, then frowned unhappily. The man in sunglasses pursed his lips and smiled, then took out a few concert tickets from his pocket and handed them over. Mr. Yi, we didn't come to invite you to join our company. It was Miss Yang Yusher who told us to give you the concert tickets. Concert tickets? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. He knew that Yang Yusher was rather popular in the film industry, but he didn't know that she was actually a singer. Yang Yusher told you guys to give this to me? Yes, Miss Yang also told us to tell you that you must come to the venue. She will be waiting for you there. Also, our boss, Director Hu, also told us to tell you that it would be such a pity if you don't enter the entertainment industry. The sunglasses-wearing man chuckled, then smiled towards Yi Zichen. Chapter 104. Guochang admits defeat. Is there anything you want to pass on? Yi Zichen smiled and shook his head. No. The sunglasses man clearly did not expect Yi Zichen to give him such an answer. However, he still nodded with a smile, then returned to the car and drove off. Fifth brother, why do you keep rejecting such a good opportunity? Mr. Hu, I think he has high hopes for you. When you were not in school, he personally came to our school a few times. Zhu Yunbai, the youngest in the dormitory, asked in confusion. Bai Yu patted him on the shoulder and shook his head. Of the people in the dorm, he was the one who had known Yi Zichen the longest, and understood him the best. He vaguely remembered that Yi Zichen had a girlfriend in high school. It seemed to be Yang Yusher. During the 3rd year of high school, Yi Zichen had once been depressed. After that, even though Yang Yusher became extremely popular, he never showed off their past to anyone. It was very likely that something had gone wrong in the middle that he didn't want to talk about. Zhu Yunbai was stunned by Bai Yu's attack. However, Yi Zichen merely smiled, then put away the concert tickets with a shrug. What's the point of being an artist? Isn't it to earn money? Right now, the one thing I don't lack the least is money. Is there a need for me to become an artist and work myself to death just to earn some money? Why do I feel like hitting him? Zhang Rui covered his right fist with his left hand. Kong Peng couldn't help but nod. You are really asking for a beating. As they chatted and laughed, they arrived at a restaurant near the university. Actually, this restaurant wasn't small, but the price was relatively affordable. It had always been the first choice for gatherings of the Polytechnic University students. Since all the rooms were full, Yi Zichen and company sat by the window on the 2nd floor. Sir, here's the menu. When the waiter placed the menu on the table, Yi Zichen directly pushed it in front of Kong Peng and Bai Yu. You two are the protagonists. Go ahead. At this moment, the waiter's eyes suddenly lit up and he exclaimed, "You are Yi Zichen, right?" Yi Zichen looked up and scratched his face. "Yes." "Can I take a photo with you?" "All right." Kong Peng and Bai Yu had also ordered their dishes at this time. They sent the waiter away with a wry smile. Bai Yu raised his eyebrows playfully and said, "What a joke. Yi Zi, aren't you as famous as a celebrity? At least in our Polytechnic University, this is what you are." Yi Zichen raised his thumb and smiled wryly. "Can I take that as a compliment? I was just praising you. Our young Master Yi is now very popular in the Polytechnic University. Our group of brothers has also benefited from it." Zhang Rui hugged Yi Zichen's shoulders and laughed. "Benefit from it?" Yi Zichen revealed a look of confusion. Zhu Yunbai twitched his mouth. "Don't worry. This show-off is using your WeChat to trick little girls into getting a hotel room. Haven't you noticed that more and more people are adding you on WeChat?" "Okay." Yi Zichen immediately stood up from the chair and cursed with his fist clenched. "So you were the one who leaked the information. Brothers, what are you blanking out for? Stop fooling around." I was wrong. Don't. Actually, they didn't use much strength at all. It was just that Zhang Rui's acting was a bit too much." At this moment, an unkind voice suddenly rang out from the private room next to them. "Calm down, those outside." Everyone immediately stopped, while Yi Zichen put his finger to his mouth to signal them to be quiet. This was a public area, they were indeed a bit too noisy just now. "Stop fooling around, go back to the dorms if you want to." Zhang Rui also cupped his fist and smiled coyly towards the people downstairs. However, while Yi Zichen's side was quiet, someone in the private room suddenly laughed in disdain. "Did you see that? Those grandsons outside are scared." The person who spoke had a faint hint of pride in his tone. The expressions of everyone on Yi Zichen's side instantly turned terrible. F***ck. Who the F***ck said that just now? Say it again if you dare. Zhang Rui pushed his glasses up, stood up from the chair and shouted towards the private room. "Oh, you have quite a temper?" With that, the curtain of the private room was opened, and 7 or 8 young men walked out with beer bottles in their hand. "Grandsons, it's Grandpa who said it." Guochang. The one who spoke was none other than Guochang, who stole Yi Zichen's girlfriend. Zhang Rui frowned, while the others at the table also stood up at the same time with beer bottles in their hands. They all knew that it was this grandson who stole Yi Zichen's girlfriend. Laozi wanted to help OL. 5 take care of you a long time ago. B** starred, your F** king unlucky to meet you here. Zhang Rui raised his beer bottle and was about to smash it over. However, Yi Zichen, who sat beside him without moving, suddenly raised his hand and stopped the bottle. "Easy." Zhang Rui frowned, while Guochang also raised his eyebrows. At the same time, Yi Zichen stood up and glanced at Guochang and company. What surprised Yi Zichen was that the person standing beside him was not Yao Yu this time, but a woman with a pale face, who was clearly wearing too much makeup. Why bother with him? He's just a mad dog. Yi Zichen snatched the beer bottle from Zhang Rui's hands and smashed it onto Guochang's head. Just directly hit him. F***ck. The lackeys behind Guochang rushed over with their beer bottles, while Kong Peng and company also picked up chairs. At that moment, Guochang stood up with his hand covering the wound on his head. He stopped the people behind him, then walked in front of Yi Zichen and lowered his head. "Young Master Yi, I owe you this bottle of beer. Now that you've hit me, I hope that you can forgive me and not hold a grudge against me. I broke up with Yao Yu. Guochang's reaction shocked everyone. Yi Zichen even raised his eyebrows with a smile. "Don't worry." Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and smiled. "What did you call me just now?" "Young Master Yi." Guochang clenched his teeth and lowered his head. "Young Master Yi, I was blind back then. However, Yao Yu isn't a good woman either. Since she can make me take money away from you, then she can make other people take money away from you." Kong Peng. Yi Zichen raised his hand. Kong Peng immediately understood and placed a beer bottle in his hand. Bang! Guochang's head was covered in blood after the bottle went down. However, he still stood in front of Yi Zichen with his head lowered and clenched his teeth. Young Master Yi, sorry. F***ck off. Yi Zichen pointed at the stairs and cursed with a dark expression. Guochang immediately ran away from the second floor with the woman beside him and a few lackeys, as if he had been pardoned. Yi Zichen clenched his fist tightly and sat down on the chair without saying anything. Yi Baiyu and Zhang Rui patted Yi Zichen's shoulders in concern. Yi Zichen smiled, while his mind was filled with Guochang's words. What a joke! Yi Zichen licked his lips, then took out a bottle of beer from the beer box on the side and smiled. Chapter 105. Officer Lin treated him to a meal. Why did you drink so much? Xiao Yumei smelled the alcohol on Yi Zichen, so she specially brewed a pot of tea for him. Yi Zichen, who leaned back on the sofa, twisted his neck. My friend just got out of the hospital, so we came to celebrate. As he spoke, he raised his eyebrows when he saw the pile of documents on Xiao Yumei's desk. Are you busy? Yeah, isn't Baidahai's jewelry store now under your name? You don't even look at the financial affairs in the middle. You can be at ease and be a shopkeeper. Do you think I can ignore it? Yi Zichen grabbed her hand and smiled when he felt the blame in Xiao Yumei's tone. It's been hard on you. You know that it's been hard on me. Xiao Yumei rolled her eyes at Yi Zichen, then sat down beside him with a frown. But when I was sorting out Baidahai's finances, I felt like something wasn't right, but I didn't know what was wrong. That didn't surprise Yi Zichen at all. No need to worry about it, Baidahai definitely has a trap waiting for us. We just have to wait for him to reveal himself. Are you sure? Xiao Yumei revealed a worried expression. Finances aren't a small problem. If he's allowed to mess around, then it will be very troublesome in the future. Is that so? Yi Zichen didn't know anything about business. He thought about it, then took out his phone to call Xiao Hai. Lil Yi, why do you have time to call Hai Ji? Say it, what is it this time? Yi Zichen couldn't help but blush when he heard the clear laughter from the other side of the phone. He was a bit embarrassed to call Xiao Hai whenever he needed something. Hai Ji, I did call you because I have something to trouble you with. Say it. I got 51% of Baidahai's jewelry store shares a while ago, but I feel like he set me up. I want Hai Ji to help me check it out. Baidahai? Sure, leave it to me. Then I'll trouble Hai Ji. You're welcome. After the call ended, Yi Zichen put away his phone and gave Xiao Yumei a reassuring look. It's done. Hai Ji will definitely be able to find something. You know quite a bit of people, Xiao Yumei smiled sweetly. Yi Zichen instantly revealed a naughty smile. Am I small? Are you not small? Xiao Yumei also revealed a playful expression. Hee, looks like it's been too long since we last met and you've forgotten. I have to remind you. With that, as Xiao Yumei exclaimed, Yi Zichen picked her up and placed her on the office table. Don't, this is the company. What's wrong with the company? It's exciting in the company. Besides, would they dare to come in without your order? Yi Zichen pursed his lips into a smile, then kissed her. By the time he left Xiao Yumei's company, it was already nighttime. Xiao Hai was investigating Baidahai, so there was nothing to worry about. As Yi Zichen strolled along the street, he was lost in thought as he gazed at the scenery. At this moment, the phone in his pocket suddenly rang. Hey. Yi Zichen, right? I'm Lin Xie. At a small northeastern restaurant, Yi Zichen and Lin Xie sat in a small booth. Officer Lin, there's something wrong with you. Yi Zichen, who leaned back on the chair, swept his gaze over Officer Lin. She wore a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and a silver necklace around her neck. She had long hair and light makeup. This was the first time he saw Officer Lin like this after knowing her for so long. I don't look good? Lin Xie bit her lips. Yi Zichen shook his head and praised sincerely. You look good, but I just feel that it's weird. What's weird about it? Our relationship seems to be. Yizichin didn't finish his sentence and shook his head. I just feel that it's too weird for you to treat me to a meal dressed like this. Lin Xie instantly rolled her eyes at Yizichin. Don't think too much about treating you to a meal. I just purely wanted to thank you for saving me that day. I definitely won't think too much about it, but you chose this kind of place to repay me for saving your life? Yizichin twitched his mouth. This girl was too stingy. How much money can a civil servant have? Lin Xie bit her lips and felt wronged. Yizichin looked at her. What's with that look? What exactly do you want to say? Can you speak or not? Lin Xie slammed the table, causing the other customers in the store to look towards her. Lin Xie blushed, then bit her lips and cursed softly. Can you speak or not? What do you mean by that? Speechless. Don't you understand? Yizichin looked at her helplessly. Lin Xie immediately said angrily, Why are you speechless? All right, I admit that the standard for treating a young master like you here is a bit low. Isn't it a bit low? Fine, the place I chose is too low. Lin Xie clenched her teeth and snorted. Lin Xie gritted her teeth and grumbled, But I also saved you once. If I hadn't arrived in time that day, hee. What are you chuckling about? Lin Xie was truly going crazy from Yizichin's torture. Why didn't I notice that he was actually this sort of person before? Yizichin glanced at Lin Xie, who was on the verge of going crazy, then picked up a piece of braised pork with his chopstick. First of all, you didn't get there in time that day. Chief Lu told you to come, right? Secondly, if it wasn't for your boyfriend, do you think I would have ended up like that? This time, it was Lin Xie's turn to be speechless. She couldn't refute Yizichin's words at all, especially when Zhao Ziming told Lu Chang to make a move on him. Sorry. Lin Xie lowered her head deeply, while an apologetic expression covered her face. Yizichin sighed in his heart when he heard her dispirited tone. Come on, stop apologizing. It's not your fault that you got such a petty boyfriend. If you want to blame someone, then blame the sins you committed in your previous life. Yizichin, I really want to hit you. Hearing that, Yizichin instantly laughed. There are plenty of people who want to hit me. Who do you think you are? After they finished their noisy dinner, Yizichin and Lin Xie left the restaurant together. Yizichin raised his eyebrows outside the restaurant. Officer Lin, do you have any other orders? F***ck off. Hurry up and F***ck off. Lin Xie caused Yizichin's lungs to explode from the meal. When Yizichin saw her hysterical expression, he smirked and blinked. Then bye-bye. Don't dream of me when you go back tonight, otherwise, you'll fall in love with me. F***ck off. From the looks of it, Yizichin was going to get beaten up if he didn't run. Yizichin shrunk his neck, then quickly ran. Until she lost sight of Yizichin, hee. Lin Xie, whose face was filled with anger, suddenly laughed. Chapter 106. I screamed myself hoarse. Yizichin swung his arms as he walked towards the school. Recalling Lin Xie's appearance just now, that was a living example of a crazy tigress. This silly girl. She's going to start a fight at the slightest disagreement. What are you doing? A soft voice sounded out from the alley beside the street. Yizichin followed the voice and saw a few delinquents surrounding a girl reeking of alcohol. Beauty, let us send you home. The green-haired gangster smirked and reached out to the girl's cheek. The other hooligans would also take the opportunity to take advantage of her from time to time. Although the girl tried her best to stop them, she still let those hooligans take advantage of her. Hurry up and get out of the way. The girl pushed them with all her might. The gangsters pursed their lips and smiled. Instead of retreating, they advanced and surrounded the girl completely. Don't be like this. Didn't everyone have a good time at the bar just now? Why are you suddenly unhappy? As he spoke, the green-haired gangster had already stretched out his hand to grab the girl's arm. Let me go. The girl screamed and tried to shake off his arm. She did play well with them at the bar, but she just wanted them to buy her alcohol. How could the girls in the bar buy their own drinks? Didn't they always ask others to pay for them? In the past, there were no problems when she played like this. Who knew that she would encounter such a group of scoundrels this time? Get out of the way. If you don't, I'm going to call for help. The girl's almond-shaped eyes were filled with anger. She pursed her delicate lips and raised her eyebrows. She looked like an angry lion cub. The hooligans at the side suddenly laughed. Green Hair even had a playful smile on his face. Even if you scream until your throat breaks, no one will come to save you. Before the green-haired delinquent finished, Yi Zichen raised his hand and smiled coyly. Should I scream my lungs out? The drunk girl's eyes lit up when she saw Yi Zichen walk out from the corner. Help me! Call the police! The girl waved her arms with all her might. When the gangsters next to her saw that someone wanted to ruin their plan, they immediately separated and surrounded her. Brat, hurry up and scram while I'm happy, or else, thud. A shiny fruit knife appeared in Green Hair's hand. At the same time, a few hooligans around him also took out their own fruit knives. You don't know me? Yi Zichen pointed at his nose. Who the F***ck are you? Why do I know you? Yi Zichen let out a soft sigh. Recently, all of the delinquents that Yi Zichen met knew him, so he thought that he had gotten famous in this circle. From the looks of it, he was still not famous enough. All right, it doesn't matter if you don't know me. I'll let you know me. With that, Yi Zichen raised his hand, grabbed the green-haired man's arm, and twisted it upwards. Then, he turned around and kicked all of the delinquents to the ground. Seeing that, the delinquents around the girl also rushed over, but they were no match for Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen quickly dealt with the delinquents, then clapped his hands towards the green-haired man with a smile. Yi Zichen, now you know him, right? Damn, I'll remember you. Let's go. Yi Zichen scrambled away with his lackeys, then turned around to tell the girl that it was safe. However, when he turned around, he noticed that the girl had already disappeared. Wow, that's too heartless. Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. He had wanted to be a hero saving the beauty, but in the end, the girl ran away. The most F***king speechless was that he didn't even see what the girl looked like. At the antique street in Bingqing's East District, creak, the jarring sound of the door opening rang out, and not long after, a girl with a languid expression walked in from outside. I'm back. The man in the room replied without even raising his head, while he continued to play with the calligraphy in front of him. Why are you playing with that crappy painting every day? You haven't even been so careful with me. The girl took out a bottle of drink from the fridge and twitched her mouth towards the man. What do you know, this is the real work of Badashanran. Oh, the crappy painting that you bought with 5 million, hick. The man frowned and twitched his nose slightly. Damn girl, you're drinking again. How many times have I told you not to drink outside so late at night? What if something happens? Say, can't you save me some trouble? Yes. The girl nodded lazily, stretched lazily, and said, I'm so tired, I'm going to sleep. Come back, I didn't finish. The man turned around to chase after her. The girl pointed at the painting with a smile. Don't chase me, don't blame me if you lose the painting. The man instantly blanked out for a moment, while the girl also took the chance to lock the door with a bang. Coincidentally, it was Monday again, the day to help Huang Yi clear his meridians. Zichen, eat some fruits. Huang Xingmei smiled gently as she brought over a plate of fruits for Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen could feel her deep love from her eyes. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile. At the same time, a curse sounded out from Huang Yi's bedroom. This retard. What's he doing inside? Yi Zichen indicated towards Huang Yi's room with his mouth. Huang Xingmei smiled softly. What's he playing? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then walked into Huang Yi's room with his hands behind his back. At that moment, he was sitting on a chair with headphones on. He stared straight at the computer screen, while his hands madly operated the keyboard and mouse. Yi Zichen stood quietly behind him and watched him team up. I lost. The screen turned black, then Huang Yi threw his headphones away and leaned back. I can turn the tables. Yi Zichen chuckled behind him. Huang Yi smiled in surprise. What's wrong? Only then did Huang Yi smile in surprise. Zichenji, why did you come? Did you come to take a look at my leg? Then let's start. Huang Yi became a lot brighter after gaining the confidence to stand up. Especially when Huang Xingmei used hot water to apply on his leg recently, he could faintly feel the numbness from his leg. At that moment, he had endless expectations towards Yi Zichen's treatment. He firmly believed that as long as he cooperated with the treatment, he would definitely be able to stand up one day. Then you're not going to play anymore? What for? The bottom lane is already destroyed. I can turn the tables. Yi Zichen smiled softly, then pushed him to the side. Yi Zichen controlled Huang Yi's top lane vampire and led his teammates to team up against the other side. Explosive damage. He directly wiped out the other side in one go. Since the game had already gone on for 40 minutes, and the revival time was rather long, Yi Zichen could only force himself to destroy the other side's base. Zichenji, amazing. I'm at the king level. Huang Yi was shocked. Yi Zichen was stunned for a moment, then asked. You said that you're a king? Yeah, the strongest king of the first zone. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes, then looked meaningfully at Huang Yi's win point, then turned his head with a smile. Chapter 107. You're sick, you're recovering pretty well. You'll be fine after I come again next Monday. You can try using your legs to stand up. Yi Zichen patted Huang Yi's back and stood up from the chair. Through the treatment for Huang Yi Zichen was getting more and more familiar with the use of energy. For example, this time, he didn't feel like he was fished out of the water like before. Zichen, wipe your sweat. Huang Xingmei handed the towel over. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile. Huang Yi, who laid on the bed, said excitedly, I can really stand up? Of course, would Zichenji lie to you? Yi Zichen smiled. Huang Yi instantly flipped over and looked up at the ceiling with a smile. Oh yeah, Zichenji. Why did you ask me if you want to play professionally just now? My friend established a professional team and is lacking a top laner. If you want to play professionally after you recover, I can introduce you to someone. Of course, it'll be up to you. If you don't want to, of course I want to. Huang Yi slapped the bed with his hands and revealed a look of longing. Being able to play professionally has always been my dream. I used to watch them play at home. If I can play as well, then that would be great. Then I'll take you over to have a look when you recover. Yi Zichen patted Huang Yi's shoulders a few times, then pulled Huang Xingmei out of the bedroom. Huang Yi's recovery is very good. I suggest you ask for leave from the hospital and take care of him at home for a week. When I come back next Monday, he'll be able to stand up again. Of course, during this time, you have to resuscitate his leg muscles. Does that mean I can't treat you to a meal again? Huang Xingmei frowned. Yi Zichen let out a long sigh helplessly and knocked her head. That's not quite right. There's something wrong with what you're saying. Is eating with me more important than your little brother standing up again? Of course it's important. Huang Yi, who was in the bedroom, suddenly spoke up. Zichenji helped us so much. It's perfectly normal for my sis to treat you to a meal. You don't have to worry about me, I've always been at home by myself before. Huang Yi's help caused Huang Xingmei's eyes to brighten. She looked at Yi Zichen with anticipation. Since he had already said so much, it would be a little unreasonable to refuse. Yi Zichen had no choice but to nod and agree. Since Huang Xingmei had to go to the hospital to work in the afternoon, Yi Zichen and company found a small restaurant near the hospital to sit down. Actually, when he was with her, Yi Zichen felt a bit, it must be awkward. The relationship between the two of them was too inexplicable, and the increase in their intimacy was also too inexplicable. The two of them had advanced to become lovers, and it was not even a matter of course. On the contrary, it gave off a very stiff feeling. After ordering a few side dishes, Yi Zichen sat on the chair, not knowing what to do. Huang Xingmei rested her chin on her hands, while her gaze never left his body. What's wrong? Huang Xingmei raised her eyebrows. Yi Zichen licked his lips, then smiled after a moment of hesitation. You just graduated from a medical university, right? Sort of. That's pretty amazing. He just graduated and he managed to become a resident doctor. Maybe it's because I did well in my professional courses in school, and old Jing took good care of me when I came to the hospital for my internship. Elder Jing? Jing Cheng? That's him. Huang Xingmei nodded with a smile. Huang Xingmei smiled and nodded with admiration in her eyes. Old Jing is a very authoritative figure in the medical world. I'm lucky to be recognized by him. With that, she looked towards Yi Zichen with a smile. But you're still more amazing. But you're still the best. Even Elder Jing couldn't handle the case, but you managed to save him. It's just pure luck. It shouldn't be, right? You can't just rely on tricks to save people. You being able to save him means that you have the ability. Huang Xingmei's tone was filled with admiration towards Yi Zichen. Huang Xingmei's tone was filled with admiration towards Yi Zichen. Oh yeah, are you also a medical university student or, I'm a vet? Hearing that, Huang Xingmei was stunned. Vets can treat people now? Yi Zichen also understood just how shocking his answer was. Fortunately, the waiter brought the food over, so the two of them flipped the page. During the meal, Yi Zichen noticed that Huang Xingmei was a bit different from the other girls beside him. Compared to Xiao Yumei's flirtatiousness, Su Yan and Xia Kik's youth, she was the more intellectual kind of beauty. Xingmei. A chuckle sounded out. Huang Xingmei looked up, while her delicate eyebrows instantly knitted together. Seeing that, Yi Zichen also looked back. Only then did he see a round-faced man of average stature walk towards them from the stairs of the second floor. You know him? Our hospital's vice director, Wu Dio. He can be considered to be half my superior. Huang Xingmei frowned. This guy always intentionally or unintentionally reveals some rather ambiguous information to me, but since he doesn't point it out, I always act dumb. Unspoken rules. Z's. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. At the same time, Wu Dio also walked in front of them with a chuckle. Eating with your little brother? Wu Dio smiled when he noticed Yi Zichen, who was beside him, and asked in a testing tone. Huang Xingmei pursed her lips. At that moment Yi Zichen stood up with a smile. You really know how to joke. Let me introduce myself. I'm Xingmei's boyfriend, Yi Zichen. Lil Huang's boyfriend. After a brief moment of awkwardness, Wu Dio maintained a smile on his face. However, his tone changed, and even the way he addressed Yi Zichen changed. Lil Huang, you just graduated from the medical university. It wasn't easy to get to the position of a resident doctor. Of course, your recent performance in the hospital has been pretty good. Actually, I've always wanted you to take a step towards being an attending physician. But you. Wu Dio shook his head with a sigh, then looked towards Yi Zichen intentionally. You are in the period where your career is rising, you can't be like this. Of course, it's not that I don't want you to get a boyfriend, it's just that getting a boyfriend will cause you to be distracted. Say, you stay in the operation room all day, if anything goes wrong. There's no need for Dean Wu to worry about that, I know what I'm doing. Huang Xingmei stood up from the chair and smiled humbly. A light flashed across Wu Dio's eyes as he snorted, Fine. You'll suffer if you don't listen to your elders. With that, Director Wu shook his head and walked out, mumbling to himself as he walked. It seems like you have to settle for a few more years before you can get the position of attending physician. Dean Wu, wait a moment. Before Huang Xingmei spoke, Yi Zichen suddenly raised his hand and stopped him. Hearing that, Wu Dio stopped and glanced at Yi Zichen. Dean Wu, did you know? You're sick. Chapter 108. The meeting in the heavenly court ended. Wu Dio's expression instantly darkened. Yi Zichen actually said that he was sick in front of so many people. I've been a doctor for so many years, how could I not know my own body? Young man, don't try to please the crowd here. How am I trying to please the crowd? I'm doing this for your own good. Yi Zichen frowned helplessly. Of course, you are a doctor. However, doctors don't cure themselves. Have you not learned that after being a doctor for so many years? Then tell me what illness I have. The smile on Wu Dio's face had already completely disappeared. Anyone would be in a bad mood after being called sick in front of so many people. All right, then I'll say it. Yi Zichen pursed his lips and smiled. Huang Xingmei, who was on the side, wanted to stop him, but when she saw Yi Zichen's comforting gaze, she swallowed her words. Have your eyes been swollen recently when you wake up in the morning? When you wash your hair, a lot of your hair falls out. When you drink water normally, you wake up more than 3 times at night. Wu Dio was stunned. It seems like you haven't noticed the severity of the problem. It's all thanks to your luck that you met me, otherwise. Yi Zichen shook his head and sighed, then acted like he was helpless. No one would not care about their health, and Wu Dio was no different. The 3 points just now were all about his situation, so he couldn't help but reply seriously. What illness is this? Now you believe that there's an illness, right? Yi Zichen smiled playfully. Try to press on the right side of your lower abdomen. Wu Dio pressed the button without a second thought. Nothing happened. Press down a bit more. Press harder. All right. A disgusting stench instantly filled the restaurant. All of the customers in the restaurant covered their mouths and noses in displeasure and ran out of the restaurant. Wu Dio's face also turned green. You're messing with me. Who's messing with you? You can't even remember the characteristics of acupoints as a doctor, and you still have the face to say that I'm messing with you? But I'm doing this for your own good. I'm helping you expel the foul air. Ugh, brat, I'll remember you. Wu Dio hastily ran out of the restaurant with his pants up. Yi Zichen fanned himself a few times in front of his nose, then smiled towards Huang Xingmei. Let's go as well. Ding dong. Your favorability level with Huang Xinghao increased by 20. Current favorability level, 535. Yi Zichen smiled dryly after sending Huang Xingmei to the hospital. I didn't cause any trouble for you, right? I just don't like that geezer. Of course not. I've long found him an eyesore. If he really causes trouble for me, I'll just change hospitals. Huang Xingmei shook her head with a smile. All of a sudden, she blushed and bit her lips, then leaned forward and kissed Yi Zichen on the cheek. I'm going to work. After watching Huang Xingmei leave, Lu Qing floated out and said faintly, You're hitting on girls again. Yi Zichen was stunned, then speechless. When did I start hitting on girls again? No? Lu Qing pouted and counted with her fingers. You helped Huang Xingmei's brother treat his leg without asking for anything in return. Don't you know that this kind of behavior is the easiest to move a woman's heart? You just helped her teach that guy a lesson. If nothing goes wrong, Huang Xingmei will definitely fall in love with you. I've liked him for a long time. Yi Zichen couldn't help but retort. The marriage string was tied, and the affability level between the two of them broke through 500. This was already past the threshold of lovers. Also, you let Huang Xingmei's brother play professionally for the sake of that girl called Jingwan, right? Yi Zichen nodded slightly. Jingwan was the only person he knew that wanted to form a team. See, isn't that right? Lu Qing wrinkled her nose and twitched her mouth. That's why I say you're very scheming. How am I scheming? The biggest problem Jingwan is facing right now is that she doesn't have enough members to form a team. Wouldn't she be grateful to you for sending her a top laner? Hearing Lu Qing's words, it really was the case. You look harmless, but your method of retreating in order to advance is truly amazing. This little girl admires you. With that, Lu Qing bowed towards Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen instantly felt wronged. In all honesty, he really didn't think so much. He merely wanted to help Jingwan, he didn't think of anything else. Why did Lu Qing's words make him feel like he was unforgivable? If that's the case, Then am I flirting with you by keeping you by my side and helping you find a chance to revive and take revenge? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. Hearing that, Lu Qing immediately twitched her mouth. Say it after you do it. This damn girl. Yi Zichen was extremely annoyed when he saw Lu Qing's tsundere face. He wanted to hit her and scold her, but he couldn't bear to. It was all because this girl was so cute. Buzz, the phone in Yi Zichen's pocket rang. He cursed, I'll deal with you later, then picked up the call. Yi Zi, I've taken care of the supermarket for you. Yi Zichen was extremely excited when he heard that. I'll be right there. Half an hour later, Yi Zichen drove to the supermarket. He had intentionally told Su Yun that the supermarket didn't have a sign. His supermarket wasn't for selling to people, it was for selling to deities. How is it? Not bad, right? Su Yun pointed at the supermarket filled with all sorts of products proudly. He had been extremely busy these past few days, but at least the results seemed pretty good. Yi Zichen had helped him deal with the trouble Chief Lu had caused, and even saved their family's old man. Their entire family now treated Yi Zichen as their benefactor. He had always wanted to find a chance to repay Yi Zichen, but he didn't have any way to do so. This supermarket was the simplest repayment he could do for Yi Zichen. Thus, he had been working hard these past few days, and used the fastest speed to arrange everything. Not bad at all. Yi Zichen had a look of excitement. He didn't think that this guy would actually help him buy the goods. This saved him a lot of trouble. I have a friend who runs a food processing plant, the goods came from him. This is his name card. I can find him if I want to buy goods in the future. Su Yun handed over a name card. Yi Zichen nodded and accepted it, but his gaze remained fixed on the assortment of snacks in the room. These treasures were all chips for him to get rich in the future. Su Yun couldn't help but smile when he saw Yi Zichen's satisfied look. Alright, stop being happy. I've been exhausted these few days, shouldn't you reward me? Ding dong. The phone in Yi Zichen's pocket rang. His shoulders shook, then he took out his phone and saw that the Monkey King and company had appeared in the group. Monkey King, it's finally over. That geezer Jade Emperor is too good at bullshitting. Erlang Shin, preposterous. Monkey King, my son, you're not happy when I say that you're my relative? Canopy Marshal, Monkey Bro, True Lord Erlang, can you two stop arguing? Monkey King, idiot, are you siding with an outsider? Did you forget how old Sun helped you back then? Third Prince Neza, hee, it's so busy here, much more so than that group. Yu Lao, stop arguing. Didn't Celestial Friend Nameless say to tell him after our meeting ends? Are we going to talk about the spokesperson? Old Lord Taishang, yes. Third Prince Neza, only idealism, we're done. Yi Zichen couldn't help but lick his lips as he looked at the scrolling messages on the screen. Yi Zi, what are you doing? Only then did Yi Zichen return to his senses. He patted Su Yun's shoulders and laughed. Chapter 109. Old Lord Taishang gets kicked. Yi Zichen ignored Su Yun's screams and pushed him out of the supermarket, then locked him from the inside. After watching him gesticulate for a long time, his phone vibrated. You grandson, burning the bridge after crossing the river. Yi Zichen laughed, then replied that he'd contact him when the time comes. Su Yun, who was outside, raised his middle finger and left. Did the deities look for you? Lu Jing, who was by Yi Zichen's side, knew all of his secrets, so Yi Zichen was not surprised that she could guess it. Yi Zichen nodded, then sat down on the ground. Lu Qing floated behind him and stared at his phone curiously. Cough, cough, I'm here. Monkey King, you're too slow. I'm already preparing to return to Mount Huagua. Third Prince Neza, hee, I ran out of Nutri Express. Followed by a row of drooling emojis. Canopy Marshal, Celestial Sovereign, what do you want old pig to do? Erlang Shin, I'm feeding the dogs. You guys chat, I'll check the records later. Yu Lao, fellow Taoist, the meeting is over. Shouldn't we talk about what happened that day? Old Lord Taishang, hurry. Speed. Humph. Yi Zichen smiled coldly, then kicked old Lord Taishang away. "Ah, why did you move him out of the group?" Lu Qing covered her mouth and exclaimed. Yi Zichen glanced at her and cursed. "Did you forget that when I was at the police station that day, this old man raised the price with me? How could I spoil a guy like him? But he's the supreme old lord, isn't he very powerful in the heavenly court?" It was clear that Lu Jing had pretty much digested all of Yi Zichen's secrets. More importantly, she completely believed in the existence of the heavenly court. What's the use of being powerful? Which one of us in this group doesn't have some skills in the heavenly court? Not long later, he saw that old Lord Taishang sent him a message. "Fellow immortal, why are you doing this?" "Why?" "Humph." With a wave of his hand, he deleted all of his friends. When Yi Zichen returned to the chat group, he saw that the people in the group were asking all sorts of questions, so he once again popped up in the group. "Let's get rid of the black sheep in the group and continue. Yu Lao, fellow Taoist, are you referring to old Lord Taishang?" Yi Zichen, "Yes, that's him." Third Prince Neza, "What's wrong with Grandpa?" Monkey King, "Hey, good kick. Old son has long disliked this old man." Canopy Marshal, "Old pig doesn't care." Erlang Shen, "Woof woof." At the Heavenly Court's southern heavenly gate, old Lord Taishang looked at the chat on Yu Lao's phone and glared at him angrily. "Old friend, don't be too angry. I'll get the Sky Sovereign to add you in." Yu Lao stroked his beard and chuckled. Old Lord Taishang glared at him. "Humph, there's no need." With that, old Lord Taishang summoned a cloud and left. Yu Lao, "Old Lord Taishang is angry." Monkey King, "Hey, whether he's angry or not has nothing to do with us." Monkey Bro's words really hit the nail on the head for Yi Zichen. So what if he was angry or not? There was no shortage of him. "If you're angry, then be angry. Let's talk." Everyone responded one after another, clearly having forgotten about old Lord Taishang. Yi Zichen glanced at the list of food prices on the cashier and pursed his lips into a smile. "Everyone, please wait a moment. I'll make a price list first." The price list was actually very simple. He just had to add a zero behind the unit price. For example, Sprite was 3 yuan, then it would be 30 cultivation experience in the heavenly court. Of course, these were all preliminary estimates. It would depend on the sales in the future. If the sales were high, then he would increase the price. The black-hearted merchant was exactly like Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen could be said to have cured all of his procrastination problems for the sake of his future cultivation experience. In a short hour, Yi Zichen finished the price list, then ran outside to make a few copies before returning to the chat group. "Ahem, is everyone here?" Monkey King, "You're too slow. Everyone would have left if you waited any longer." Canopy Marshal, "Sky Sovereign, you have to have some sense of time." Yi Zichen panicked when only the two of them spoke in the group. "It can't be that everyone else left, right? Where's Yu Lao, the third prince, and Erlang Shin?" Monkey King, "Neza is acting cute over there. Yu Lao is playing chess with a bunch of geezers, while Erlang Shin is flexing his muscles with the fairies." Canopy Marshal, "Hey, they're all keeping people. Monkey Bro and I aren't too familiar with the people in the heavenly court." Yi Zichen understood. Third Prince Neza, Erlang Shin, and Yu Lao. Erlang Shin, "Bro, you finally came back. If you waited any longer, then I would have been taken advantage of all of them." Monkey King, twitching mouth emoji, "I think you felt pretty good just now." Third Prince Neza, "Hee, everyone likes me so much." Yu Lao, "Celestial friend, you finally came back. This old one can't take it anymore." Yi Zichen couldn't help but feel a bit moved when he saw how much these deities helped him. "This sovereign will remember everyone's kindness, so I won't say too many words of gratitude. Everyone can enjoy 3,000 cultivation experience free of charge." Yu Lao, "Celestial friend is too courteous." Third Prince Neza, "Hee, how much Nutri Express can 3,000 cultivation experience buy?" Monkey King, "You're so petty." Yi Zichen felt rather helpless when he saw that the deities in the group were rather happy, but the Monkey King was petty. Yi Zichen looked at the price list in his hand and directly scanned it. Ding dong. Canopy Marshal received your red packet. Yu Lao received your red packet. Monkey King received your red packet. Erlang Shen received your red packet. Third Prince Neza received your red packet. Yu Lao, what is this? It's actually so thin, but there are words on it. Erlang Shen, it's the same quality as the book bro gave me. Monkey King, what kind of treasure is this? It doesn't seem like it can be eaten. Third Prince Neza, you can't eat it. Canopy Marshal, woof. I think I already ate it. This is the price list of this sovereign's products from now on. You guys are my spokesperson as well as my #1 agent. You can choose to purchase from me and sell it at a higher price, or you can choose to rope in customers to buy from me. I'll give you a discount when you buy products from me in the future. Yu Lao, Celestial Friend means that we can take treasures from Celestial Friend and sell them in the Heavenly Court, then earn the difference in price? Third Prince Neza, that's fine too. Is everything on it edible? Canopy Marshal, I old pig can't do that. If I purchase from you, then I'll eat it all up. Old people are truly smarter. Look at Yu Lao, this geezer. He already understood everything without even pointing it out. Yes, Yu Lao is right. Yu Lao, where is it? How can we sell it if we don't have it? Wait. With that, Yi Zichen arrived at the underground warehouse. Yi Zichen looked at the neatly stacked goods that filled the entire warehouse. There were all sorts of goods. This was all money. Just this warehouse of goods should be worth at least several tens of thousands of yuan. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth. You can't catch a wolf without risking it. Chapter 110. Tai Bai Jinxing, who was burning with rage, are you going to send all these goods to them? Lu Jing walked around the warehouse. When she saw Yi Zichen's expression, she was more or less certain that he was going to send everything over. But aren't you afraid that they won't work for you after taking the goods? Actually, Yi Zichen had the same doubt as well. If he sent all of this to them, would it affect their sales in the future? Or in other words, he could save some of them to promote the new products in the future. However, the price list had already been sent out, so it would be inappropriate for him to not send out the full list. Moreover, he didn't believe that this warehouse could contain all the snacks and drinks in the modern world. As for not working, I see your group name is Supermarket Spokesperson Selection. Why don't you just leave one agent? During this period of time, let them exist in a competitive relationship. That way, at least someone can work hard. Little girl, you're so smart. He raised his hand and knocked on Lu Jing's head. Her idea was really feasible. I'll do as you say. Scan. Ding dong. Ding dong. Ding dong. On Yi Zichen's side, red packets flew everywhere. Several hundred red packets were sent over, which meant that he had sent over several hundred items. What replaced it was an empty warehouse. One side's hands were limp from giving, and the other side's hands were limp from receiving. The message XXX received your red packet appeared on his phone. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Yu Lao increased by 50. Current intimacy level, 230. Intimacy level increased. Current intimacy level, trusted. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with the Monkey King increased by 50. Current intimacy level, 225. Intimacy level increased. Current intimacy level, trusted. Ding dong. Ding dong. His phone kept ringing with messages of intimacy increasing. In just a moment, the intimacy of all 5 immortals in the group had increased to trusted. Not long after, the immortals who had snatched all the red packets also began to appear in the group. Yu Lao, fellow Celestial, this. A row of shocked emojis. Third Prince Neza, delicious. Looks like he's already eating. Monkey King, ha ha ha, generous. Erlang Shen, brother, you sure are generous. Canopy Marshal, delicious. This guy also started eating. As expected, the two people Yi Zichen was worried about the most were the Canopy Marshal and third Prince Neza. They were truly worrisome. As soon as he got it, he started to eat. However, that was a risk that Yi Zichen had to take. The two of them had eaten, but the other three hadn't. This is the free trial product that I'm giving you. I hope that all of you can bring good profits to me. As long as you do a good job, I will give you a lot of benefits. Another thing is that these are the products that are free to try out. In other words, these are for you to sell in the heavenly court. If you eat them, Canopy Marshal, so what if I ate it? Third Prince Neza, you can't eat it? You can eat it if you want. However, you won't be able to promote it in the heavenly court after eating it, so you won't be able to enjoy discounts in the future. By the way, there can only be one spokesperson, and it will be decided based on your sales result. Yi Zichen pursed his lips as he looked at the silent group. Alright everyone, the rest of the time is yours. After exiting the WeChat group, Yi Zichen stretched lazily, then took out the phone number Su Yun gave him when he looked at the empty warehouse. Hello, I'm restocking. At the same time, Heavenly Court. Neza, who was wearing golden armor and a red dudu, put down the snacks in his hand reluctantly. I can't eat it. Canopy Marshal did have some self-control, so he really didn't eat it. However, the pile of snacks that Yi Zichen just sent over. It seems like there are only a few bottles of drinks left. Third Prince Neza pouted in a troubled manner and looked at the pile of snacks beside him. It doesn't seem like it's a problem to eat another one, right? Just as he was about to open a jelly, Immortality Peach Fairy flew over from the side. Third Prince, Immortality Peach Jijia. The third prince grinned as he raised his head. The Immortality Peach boy landed beside him and looked at the mountain of snacks in front of him suspiciously. What is this? Celestial Sovereign Nameless sent this to me. Immortality Peach Jijia, do you want to eat it? The third prince took out a jelly and handed it over, then recalled Yi Zichen's message in the group. Great deity Nameless needs cultivation experience. If Immortality Peach Jijia wants to eat these snacks, then you can buy them from him. At the same time, in another part of the South Heaven's Gate, Yulao and third Prince Neza walked in a different style. He was the current leader. You can try it for free. If you want to buy it, then go find him. He would increase the price of the items that Yi Zichen provided by 10% in order to sell them. Erlang Shun and the Monkey King also started to get busy. All of a sudden, the South Heaven's Gate became a market for hawkers. The sky had already turned dark when Yi Zichen finished putting the goods in. Yi Zichen called Su Yun to the spring bar near the school when he thought of the great contributor. The two of them sat in a booth, while various colored drinks were placed on the table. Su Yun raised his glass and clinked it with Yi Zichen, then asked in confusion. Zichen, that friend of mine said that you bought goods from him again. Aha, the goods in the warehouse were sold out. Sold out? Su Yun exclaimed. He was the one who bought the first batch of good. In order to save Yi Zichen some trouble, he bought a certain amount of goods. He predicted that the goods could be sold for at least half a month in such a remote area. However, Yi Zichen told him that they were sold out. It had only been an afternoon. Yi, you aren't joking with me, right? Su Yun gulped. Even if he racked his brains, he couldn't think of what sort of sales method was able to sell out all the goods in such a short period of time. I gave it away for free, and it didn't sell quickly? Su Yun was completely confused. You gave them all away? Yeah. Rich guy. Su Yun didn't know what to say about him. The goods were only worth several tens of thousands of yuan, and he gave them all away just like that. You don't understand, let's drink. Yi Zichen raised his wine bottle and clinked it with Su Yun's, then took out his phone to look at Yulao and company's moments. Among this group of people, Yulao was the most serious. He continuously promoted it in his moments, and his update rate was almost as fast as the WeChat merchants on Yi Zichen's phone. There were also a lot of his replies below. It seemed like he would become one of Yi Zichen's agents in the future. As for Neza and company, there wasn't much activity in his moments, so Yi Zichen didn't know how they were doing. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's phone vibrated, causing his shoulders to shake as well. A customer came to find him so quickly? Yi Zichen clicked on it excitedly, and saw that it was Tai-Bai Jinxing. Little fellow, you're challenging my bottom line. Chapter 111. Lucy Yi Zichen couldn't help but smile when he saw Tai-Bai Jinxing's message. He seemed to have thought of this geezer's exasperated look in the heavenly court. Tai-Bai Jinxing came to find you. He seems to be very angry. Lu Jing, who sat beside Yi Zichen, stuck out her tongue towards the phone screen. Of course the geezer was angry. The heavenly court should be like a market right now. It would be strange if he wasn't angry. Hee, why are you so angry? Do you know what you're doing? The heavenly court is in a mess right now. Ding dong. Tai-Bai Jinxing sent a few pictures over. Yi Zichen couldn't help but giggle after taking a glance. Lu Jing also covered her mouth and giggled. These pictures were too funny. Monkey Bro blew out a bunch of monkeys at the entrance of the heavenly court. The monkeys were all holding the goods Yi Zichen sent over. They were probably hawking. Neza stood on his wind fire wheels like he was performing acrobatics in order to attract attention. Erlang Shen showed off his abs, while the dog shook its tail with a snack in its mouth. Yu Lao was even more amazing. He had a new product promotion bag tied to his head, as he shouted like a peddler. Brat, I'm telling you, you're already severely affecting the life of the heavenly court. The Jade Emperor isn't here right now, if he comes back later. So what if he comes back? Yi Zichen twitched his mouth. Can the Jade Emperor hit me when he comes back? Someone might even become my fan after giving him a bag of snacks. Geezer Tai-Bai, just tell me why you came. What? Do you want to be my spokesperson as well? If you want, I can give you a spot. Spokesperson my ass. Tai-Bai Jinxing's shoulders trembled. His shoulders shook violently. It seemed that old man Tai-Bai was really angry. Lu Qing said with a worried expression as well. He seems to be really angry. Shouldn't you say something nice? Yi, what are you doing? Drink. Su Yun bumped Yi Zichen's shoulder when he saw him playing with his phone. Wait a moment, I have something to deal with. Yi Zichen licked his lips after comforting him. Great deity Tai-Bai, I have no other choice. I need cultivation experience. You need cultivation experience? Then go into the underworld and provide me with information. I will naturally give you cultivation experience. Yi Zichen couldn't help but twitch his mouth when he saw the reply. That was enough to dry the hair. One fiery eyes of truth required 1 million cultivation experience. If he were to exchange for it with missions, he would have to wait for an eternity. By the way, how's the situation over at the underworld? Tai-Bai Jinxing sent another message. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and thought to himself, if he were to speak the truth, this old fellow would definitely beat him to death. But if he lied, what if he was exposed? I asked you a question. F***ck. What a bad temper. Looking at the message on the screen, Lu Jing was secretly worried for him. Yi Zichen licked his lips and forced himself to reply. I didn't go in. What? In a certain deep mansion in the heavenly court, a white-haired old man was so angry that he almost threw his phone away. He stared at the message angrily. After a long time, he finally calmed down. How far have you progressed? Progress? Yi Zichen frowned, then answered truthfully. During King Qin Guang's birthday banquet, White Impermanence got a jade stream from me as a birthday gift. I feel like I'll be able to go in very soon. King Qin Guang's birthday banquet? Yes. Who told the underworld to host a birthday banquet? Old man Tai-Bai was furious once again. Yi Zichen was speechless when he saw the reply. You ask me? Who the F***ck am I supposed to ask? I'm just a mere mortal. Do the higher-ups of the underworld have to report to me if they want to host a birthday banquet? Hurry up and infiltrate the enemy. There will be huge benefits." With that, Tai-Bai Jinxing disappeared. Yi Zichen looked at the reply in confusion. Why does this geezer's words feel like, although Yi Zichen's expression was calm, a layer of cold sweat appeared on his back when he finally managed to get rid of the geezer? Who knows what sort of divine abilities these deities have? If this old geezer descends at the slightest disagreement, of course, he didn't know whether this geezer could descend or not. But if he really does descend, then I'll teach him a lesson. Then I really can't beat this geezer. This Tai-Bai Jinxing is so fierce. Lu Jing wrinkled her nose and pouted. Yi Zichen raised his hand and rubbed her head, then put his phone back into his pocket and let out a long sigh. It's done. Suiyun also spoke up. He raised his eyebrows when he saw Yi Zichen's relieved expression. Do you need help? No need, it can be done. Yi Zichen raised his wine cup and clinked it with Suiyun's. At that moment, a white leg suddenly appeared in front of them. Handsome, can you treat me to a drink? Hearing that, Yi Zichen looked up and couldn't help but be stunned. It's said that beauties come from bars. That was indeed true. If the girl in front of me was in Polytechnic University, she would definitely be the school beauty. The girl wore blue denim hot pants and a white midriff-bearing top. Actually, the midriff-bearing was something she did herself. She tied it up in front. Her hair was wine red and she had a lip stud on her lip. She looked rather alluring, but it didn't match her temperament. It's our honor to treat a beauty to a drink. Before Yi Zichen could say anything, Suiyun moved over. The girl conveniently sat down. Yi Zichen couldn't say anything, so he could only agree. Your friend is truly the same as you. Lu Jing frowned on the side. Yi Zichen smiled. This girl just liked to pick on him. He was already used to it. Beauty, I wonder how I should address you? Suiyun had already started chatting with the girl. The girl raised her glass and pursed her lips with a smile. You can call me Lucy. You're just a vixen. Lu Jing snorted on the side, then glared at Yi Zichen while pulling on his clothes. I'm telling you, you can't get in touch with this vixen, understand? I'm telling you, you can't get in touch with this vixen, understand? I'm asking you a question, did you hear me? Lu Jing was a bit emotional, causing her to pout. Yi Zichen revealed a playful expression. Why, I think the girl is pretty decent. How did she become a vixen? If I say she is, then you're screwed. Lu Jing floated in the air with her hands on her waist and looked down at Yi Zichen angrily. Ha ha ha, Yi Zichen laughed out loud, causing Suiyun and Lucy, who were on the side, to be shocked. Yi Zi, what are you laughing like an idiot for? Sorry. Yi Zichen raised his wine cup and smiled apologetically. When Lucy saw him, her eyebrows instantly knitted together. She blinked her long eyelashes, as if she was recalling something. Chapter 112. Fu Qingming's cousin, don't tell that vixen. Lu Jing's delicate face frowned. Yi Zichen patted her head, then pursed his lips with a smile. Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen. Who told you to tell her? Lu Jing instantly became angry like a lion cub. I'm never going to be with you again. With that, she went back into the dragon eye. Yi Zichen. A hint of confusion flashed across Lucy's eyes. She didn't seem to know anyone with that name. However, she felt like she had heard it somewhere before. Just as she was about to continue asking, her expression suddenly changed, and she buried her head in her neck like an ostrich. Brat, I actually bumped into you here. A prideful cold laugh sounded out from behind Yi Zichen. When Yi Zichen turned around, he saw Green Hair, who he had to deal with the other day, standing behind him with a cold smile. What? You want me to pay for your medical fees? I'm telling you, I don't have any money. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth and ignored him. Suiyun glanced over and smiled. What kind of person are you? I beat him up. You got beaten up by me. Grandson, you're pretty cocky? I'm telling you, now that my big bro has come, just wait to die. Leaving behind a few ruthless words, the green-haired man left with his brothers. Yi Zi, do you need me to find some people? Su Yun squinted his eyes and acted like he was about to take out his phone. Yi Zichen shook his head. In terms of fighting, he had never lost to anyone since his body was modified by the body-enhancing pill. Yi Zichen subconsciously looked towards Lucy. Where's that girl called Lucy? Only then did Su Yun look at the empty seat beside him and shook his head. I don't know when she left. Yi Zichen was stunned. He seemed to have experienced this before. Big bro, it's this brat. At that moment, Green Hair rushed over proudly. Yi Zichen also turned around when he heard that. When he saw the big bro beside Green Hair, he immediately revealed a playful smile. Zhao Hu, this grandson is your lackey? Yi young master Yi Zhao Hu's head buzzed when he saw Yi Zichen. Then, he slapped Green Hair. Boss, Green Hair covered his face, not knowing what to do. Zhao Hu gave him a slap. Motherf asterisk Kerr, of all people to provoke, he had to provoke this lord. Boss, you stupid boss, hurry up and apologize to young Master Yi. This slap woke Green Hair up. It was obvious that even their boss couldn't afford to offend this big brother. In an instant, Green Hair's face became sullen, and he knelt on the ground with a thud. Young Master Yi, I was wrong. I don't have time to deal with you. Go away. Yi Zichen wasn't the type of person to be unforgiving. Green Hair had always suffered at his hands, so it was normal for him to want to get back at him. What surprised him was Lu Zhu, who was standing beside Zhao Hu. The two of them seemed to have parted ways at the cold drink shop. How did they end up together again after not seeing each other for just a few days? He snapped his fingers at Zhao Hu, then gestured to Lu Zhu. Why are they together again? Lu Zhu's face immediately turned pale. Zhao Hu frowned and said, Apologize to young Master Yi. This time, Lu Zhu was not as arrogant as before. She trembled and lowered her head. Young Master Yi, stop. Yi Zichen raised his hand to stop Lu Zhu's apology, then shrugged with a smile. We all came to the bar to play, why did it become like this? Young Master Yi, I truly know my wrongs. Lu Zhu nearly knelt onto the ground, while a hint of sobbing surfaced as she spoke. She truly knew fear now. The big brother that she had always been proud of had already been taken away by the people from the city's police station, and hadn't come out yet. However, she had bullied plenty of people before just because Lu Chang was a police officer. Without Lu Chang's protection, she was worried that the people she bullied would cause trouble for her. Thus, she could only return to Zhao Hu's side helplessly. However, in the end, the person who caused all of this was Yi Zichen. She was truly afraid that Yi Zichen still held a grudge against her. If that was the case, then even if she had 10 heads, it wouldn't be enough. Young Master Yi, I really... Woman, is there something wrong with your brain? I won't cause trouble for you, don't think too much. You aren't worth me taking action personally. With that, Yi Zichen frowned towards Zhao Hu. Take her away. Yes, young Master Yi. Yi Zichen and Su Yun no longer had the mood to drink after Lu Zhu's antic. The two of them left the bar after storing the remaining drink. After sending Su Yun away, Yi Zichen prepared to take a taxi and leave. However, a black RV stopped in front of him. The car door opened and several hulks walked out. Yi Zichen could feel a dense murderous aura from them. Soldiers. They were the type of iron-blooded soldiers who walked the line between life and death. Please come with us? The emotionless tone caused Yi Zichen to frown. He subconsciously activated Unbreakable Body, while inner energy circulated around his hand. Who are you? Please don't make things difficult for us. Come with us. You guys are so cute. You want me to come with you without even revealing your identity? How would I know if I'll live or die after coming with you? Then that's rude. With that, the soldiers reached out their right hands towards Yi Zichen. Their actions were in sync, and it could be said that they blocked all of Yi Zichen's paths of retreat from all directions. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then released the astral energy within his body. His arms climbed onto the soldiers' arms like a ghost. Crack. 2 of their arms were immediately cut off by Yi Zichen. After that, the rest of the soldiers retreated. At the same time, a magnetic laughter sounded out from within the RV. I was right. A man with a smile appeared within the RV. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. From what he could remember, he didn't have any contact with such a person. I don't seem to know you. Young Master Yi indeed doesn't know me, but I've heard of young Master Yi a long time ago. The man smiled warmly, then signaled the people beside him to leave. I'm friends with Xiao Hai. Hai Ji's friends wouldn't treat me like this. You should be being sarcastic, right? As they spoke, Yi Zichen became more and more nervous. This unknown guy suddenly appeared, and he was followed by a group of soldiers. Either they were from a mercenary organization, or they were sent by his enemies to assassinate him. Or they had something to ask of him. Young Master Yi truly guessed correctly, the man smiled. Let me introduce myself, I'm Dongfang Wenyi. Tell me your reason for coming here. Actually, I have 2 reasons for coming here. Actually, I didn't lie to you. Xiao Hai and I are indeed friends. I found out from him that old man Xiao was able to recover because of young Master Ye's spiritual medicine. Firstly, I want to ask for medicine for my family's old man. Dongfang when he spoke calmly, while maintaining a smile on his face. Secondly, Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. If it was purely for medicine, then the other party wouldn't have tested him. Secondly, Fu Qingming is my cousin. Chapter 113. Be merciful. The moment Dongfang when he said that, Yi Zichen's gaze turned cold. I don't think you're asking for medicine for the old man. You're here to avenge Fu Qingming, right? Let me tell you, I was the one who beat up Fu Qingming. What can you do? If he wasn't wrong, these guys didn't have guns on them. As long as there were no firearms, then everything else would be useless. Although Yi Zichen couldn't fight 100 enemies alone like an ancient general, there were only a few people in front of him. He didn't put them in his eyes. Young Master Yi, you've really misunderstood. Dongfang when he shook his head and smiled. I'm definitely not here to cause trouble for young Master Yi. On the contrary, I'm really here to ask for medicine. I also want young Master Yi to help me reattach Mingming's limbs. When Yi Zichen had beaten Fu Qingming into a dead dog, he had also used the tendon-separating bone-dislocating technique from the special medical record. At that time, he didn't think too much about it. He just wanted Fu Qingming to suffer a little more. He just needed to wait for Fu Qingming to go to the hospital and let the doctor reattach him. However, from the looks of it, the doctors in the hospital couldn't connect it. Fu Qingming's limbs are still dislocated? That's right. That uncle of mine brought my cousin to look for many famous doctors, but the result was that they were all helpless. But why should I help him? Fu Qingming, this grandson, had always played dirty tricks behind his back. If he didn't learn his lesson, he would really think that he was made of mud. Because I can help young Master Yi. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows in confusion. Dongfang when he also laughed lightly and said, Let me emphasize this time, Xiao Hai and I are really friends. Of course, we are friends in a competitive relationship. He asked me about Baida Hai and Hao Wen a while ago. Yi Zichen looked at Dongfang when he cautiously, then took out his phone to call Xiao Hai. Little Yi? Brother Hai, someone called Dongfang when he is looking for me. He looked for you? Yes, I've dealt with him for many years. He's definitely trustworthy. He also has the information you want. You can make a deal with him. Got it, Brother Hai. Hanging up the phone, Dongfang when he had already made a gesture of invitation. Young Master Yi, please. Shouldn't you let me reattach your subordinate's arm? My pleasure. On the way to the Dongfang family estate, Yi Zichen noticed that the man in front of him was truly a very smart person. This kind of person looked harmless, but from his eyes, one could feel the kind of heart-palpitating danger. This kind of person should not be deeply acquainted with. While he was deep in thought, the car arrived at the Fu family's residence. Yi Zichen walked into the mansion's living room under Dongfang Wenyi's lead. It was magnificent. That was the only way Yi Zichen could describe it. Young Master Yi, please. Dongfang Wenyi led the way for Yi Zichen to a bedroom on the second floor of the mansion. Fu Qingming's face was as pale as paper as he laid on the bed. His eyes were dim and murky. Beside him was Fu Qingming's mother, Dongfang Yun, who was wiping away her tears. Fu Hong was standing on the windowsill of the room, puffing on his cigarette. Qingming, look who I brought to see you. Dongfang Wenyi brought Yi Zichen to the window with a smile. The moment Fu Qingming saw Yi Zichen, a hint of hatred immediately appeared in his eyes, but it was quickly replaced by pleading. He moved his mouth, but no words came out. It seemed Yi Zichen had dislocated his chin as well. You're Yi Zichen. Dongfang Yun, who was sitting by the bed and wiping away her tears, stood up from the bed with a hideous expression and reached towards Yi Zichen's face. Fu Hong grabbed her arm from behind, causing Dongfang Yun to scream. You still dare to come to our house? Do you really think that our Fu family is easy to bully? Fu Hong was clearly more rational, but his gaze towards Yi Zichen was also unfriendly. It seems like I'm rather disliked. Yi Zichen rubbed his nose and glanced at Dongfang Wenyi. I think it's better not to treat this illness. The patient's family seems to have quite a bit of an opinion of me. Uncle, I brought young Master Yi to treat my beauty. Dongfang Wenyi explained with a smile. Fu Hong's expression darkened. Treat? Fu Qingming's real father, right? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. You might have quite a bit of an opinion of me, but it seems like you don't know about your son's terrible record. I dislocated his arms and legs. That's right. But you might not know that he used a lot of dirty tricks on me, right? I did it as a small punishment for him. Let me tell you, if it wasn't for young Master Dongfang looking for me, I wouldn't even bother to come to this broken place of yours. Dongfang Yun, who was on the side, twitched her mouth and wanted to curse, but she also wanted Yi Zichen to treat her son. No matter what, she did not want to see her son suffer like this. Old Fu, why don't you let him try? Dongfang Yun's eyes were slightly pleading. Fu Hong snorted with a sullen face. Then let's give it a try. If you say I'll give it a try, I'll give it a try. Why am I in such a hurry? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. Fu Hong was about to get angry, but Dongfang Yun spoke up first. Then what do you want? Ask your man to say something nice. If you're asking for help, you should have the attitude of asking for help. Secondly, you have to promise that you won't cause any trouble for me in the future. You can't cause any trouble for my friends or family either. Do you understand? I can promise you that I won't cause you trouble, but let me beg you. A sinister look flashed across Fu Hong's eyes. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and shrugged. Don't worry. Forget it then. With that, Yi Zichen walked out of the bedroom. Dongfang Yun quickly ran over to stop him, then shouted towards Fu Hong. Fu Hong, is your face more important than your son's life? I don't believe that there's no one else other than him that can treat our son. Fu Hong seemed to be quite stubborn. Fu Hong seemed to be quite stubborn as well. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth and shrugged. Yeah, but how many doctors did you find? Which one of them did it for him? Yi Zichen's words instantly caused Fu Hong to lose his temper. At the same time, Dongfang Yun also called out, Old Fu! Mr. Yi, please be merciful and treat my son. Fu Hong glared at Yi Zichen fiercely and shouted through clenched teeth. What's with that look? Are you trying to scare me? Yi Zichen shrunk back in fear. Fu Hong raised his eyebrows, but when he saw Dongfang Yun's expression, he could only suppress the anger in his heart and said obediently, Mr. Yi, please be merciful. That's more like it. Yi Zichen snorted and walked in front of Fu Qingming. Due to his lower jaw being dislocated, he could only eat liquid food to fill his stomach, causing his entire face to be pale. Yi Zichen raised his hand and knocked Fu Qingming's chin. Crack. Young Master Yi. Don't bother with me, young Master Yi. It's fine as long as you, young Master Fu, don't cause trouble for me for no reason. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes, then quickly reconnected all of Fu Hong's limbs as well. Yi Zichen clapped his hands, then turned around and indicated towards Dongfang Yun and Fu Hong. Go and take a look at your son. As soon as he finished speaking, he looked at Dongfang Wenyi. Chapter 114. Two beautiful sisters singing a duet. Time ticked by. Yi Zichen sat in the living room of the room, while a green gourd was placed in front of him. Didn't you ask for a spiritual medicine for your family's old man? I haven't seen your family's old man. Take the wine in this gourd back for him to drink. Dongfang Wenyi took the gourd over and opened the stopper, causing the fragrance of wine to spread throughout the living room. He raised his eyebrows, then quickly plugged the bottle. What does young Master Yi want from me? You don't doubt whether this thing I gave you is useful or not. Yi Zichen was rather surprised that Dongfang Wenyi didn't say anything and directly talked about the conditions. I hate people threatening me the most. My wine might be able to harm your family's old man. Dongfang Wenyi's eyes instantly turned as cold as a venomous snake. He pursed his lips and placed the gourd on the tea table. Young Master Yi is a smart person, he wouldn't do that. What's more, we will have a lot of chances to cooperate in the future. This guy really isn't easy to deal with. Yi Zichen's shoulders trembled. Yi Zichen calmed himself down, then took out a cigarette from his pocket and lit it for himself. I want news of Hao Wen and Bai Dahai. Is there any connection between the two of them? Smart. Dongfang Wenyi snapped his fingers and pursed his lips into a smile. Bai Dahai is being suppressed by Hao Wen right now, so he can be considered as one of Hao Wen's henchmen. As for this Hao Wen, there are people above him. Who is above him? I don't know either. Dongfang Wenyi shrugged. Our Dongfang family is the same as the Shao family, we are all businessmen, so some secret matters cannot be investigated. The clue I can give you is that Hao Wen's subordinates are controlling Bai Dahai's wife and daughter, and they are plotting something that will make you fall. Only fall. Yi Zichen had already guessed that Bai Dahai and Hao Wen should be together. The two of them were definitely plotting something shocking. However, he never expected Dongfang Wenyi to say that it was only to make him fall. Making young Master Yi fall is already amazing. Could young Master Yi's identity cause them to be unable to make a comeback? When Dongfang Wenyi said this, his eyes revealed endless deep meaning. It was as if he knew Yi Zichen's background. His tone was calm and certain. This was not the first time he had encountered such a situation. It was obvious that they regarded him as a certain type of person. That group of people was very mysterious. Just like him, they had endless tricks up their sleeves. But who exactly were those people? He did not know if he would come into contact with that group of people in the future. However, since Dongfang Wenyi misunderstood, then let him continue to misunderstand. Anyway, there was no harm to him. It's good that young Master Dongfang knows, but our place doesn't like outsiders talking too much. Young Master Dongfang should know what to do. As soon as these words came out, a ripple immediately appeared on Dongfang Wenyi's calm face. She didn't expect him to be from that place. But why would people from that place come here? Wasn't there a rule that people from that place couldn't casually enter and exit the modern world? No matter what, he couldn't afford to provoke this person. Of course, Dongfang Wenyi's imposing manner was clearly much weaker. His Dongfang family indeed had quite a bit of prestige in the business world. Even in the imperial capital, they could occupy an acre of land. But compared to the people in that place, they were nothing. Say it, what exactly are Hao Wen and Bai Dahai plotting? After leaving the Fu family, Yi Zichen declined Dongfang Wenyi's offer to send him off, and called a taxi to leave by himself. Wenyi, that brat, just as Fu Hong, who was standing in the living room of the mansion, was about to speak, Dongfang Wenyi quickly stopped him. Uncle, it's best if you don't say something like that. With his identity, even our Dongfang family can't afford to offend him. To put it bluntly, if young Master Yi wants to, he can destroy your business in any minute. What? Dongfang Yun also rushed over upon hearing the commotion. Dongfang Wenyi nodded non-committally. Dongfang Wenyi nodded, he's from that place. With that, Dongfang Yun's expression drastically changed. Another boring professional lesson ended. Yi Zichen, who was dispirited on his seat, instantly became energetic as if he had drunk some water. He looked up and saw Sun Yaij, who had just stood up from her seat. Yi Zichen had wanted to greet the class rep, but she frantically ran away from the classroom when she saw him. He didn't know why, but the class monitor seemed to be intentionally or unintentionally avoiding him recently. This caused him to be a bit confused. He didn't seem to do anything to this class rep. Why was she always avoiding him? Yi Zichen. Rish bro. Just as Yi Zichen was still confused, two cries sounded out from outside the door. Yi Zichen turned around and saw Su Yan and Xia Kiki waving towards him as they stood shoulder to shoulder. Yi Zichen walked towards the two of them under the jealous gazes of the other male students in the class. Why did you two come together? Yi Zichen's expression showed a bit of awkwardness. The two girls knew that the other liked him. Now that they came to find him together, the atmosphere between the three of them became a bit strange. Can't we come together? A hint of hesitation flashed across Su Yan's eyes. She, who had gotten over that hurdle in her heart, no longer cared about whether Xia Kiki liked Yi Zichen or not. However, she liked to see him get beaten up. More importantly, it was for him to remember. Don't always mess around outside. Xia Kiki also pouted and whimpered in agreement. This lady and Susu came to find you together, and you're not willing? For some reason, Yi Zichen felt like the two girls came prepared. Since I can't mess with them, then I can just hide. What business do the two young misses have with this little one? If there isn't anything important, then this little one will leave first? With that, Yi Zichen turned around to run. Su Yan reached out to grab his collar and smiled playfully. Where are you going in such a hurry? Hee. Seeing that he couldn't run, Yi Zichen turned around and rubbed his hands with a dry smile. Didn't I start a supermarket a while ago? You also know that it's the place Su Yun found for me. Since I'm starting my own business, shouldn't I go back frequently to keep an eye on it? Is that so? Su Yan revealed a playful expression, then looked meaningfully at Xia Kiki, who was behind Yi Zichen. Really? Of course it's true. Oh, then hurry up and go to the supermarket. Su Yan let go of Yi Zichen's collar with a smile, then hugged Xia Kiki's arm. Kiki, let's go, don't get in the way of his business. Rish bro needs to start a business. Yeah, didn't he say that he wants to start a business? I feel like he's tricking us. Susu, what do you think? I think so too, but I don't dare to say it. Yi Zichen put his hands on his hips and said, You're right, the two of them said in unison. Yi Zichen couldn't help but put his hands on his waist. Chapter 115. Zhuge Kongming sitting at the checkout counter of the supermarket. There were 10 concert tickets that Yang Yushir had sent people to deliver on the counter's table. Never in your wildest dreams would you have thought that Big Brother would have a ticket in his hand, and it's even an inner arena ticket. A hint of pride appeared on Yi Zichen's face. The reason why Su Yan and Xia Kiki messed with him so weirdly just now was all for a few concert tickets. The main thing was that there was no other way. Yang Yushir's fame was absolutely explosive. As soon as the tickets came out, the two girls started to grab the tickets. However, their hands were too slow. By the time they confirmed the tickets, the 5,000 tickets had been swept away by the fans. They'd sought out Yi Zichen because, given his relationship with Hu Hong, they wanted to see if they could get him a few. Of course, their orders were absolute. They had to get the tickets. Yi Zichen put the ticket into his pocket with a smile, then leaned back on the chair and looked at the huge supermarket, causing his face to turn bitter. He had thought that he would be able to sell very quickly in the heavenly court, but after such a long time, not a single spokesperson had approached him for stock, nor had any immortals taken the initiative to buy from him. Could it be that the immortals of the heavenly court don't like it? This shouldn't be happening. The reactions of the Monkey King and the others were quite good. Creak. The door of the supermarket was pushed open from the outside. Yizichin continued to stare at his phone without looking up. It's not open yet. Yizichin would encounter this sort of situation many times a day. Normally, the customers would leave the moment he said those words. But this time, this person actually stood in front of him and refused to leave. Yizichin looked up and saw a boy with black-framed glasses standing in front of him. From his face, one could see a hint of immaturity. He was probably no more than 18 years old. "Brother, our supermarket is not open yet. We can't sell anything." The boy scratched his head and said, "I'm not here to buy goods." "What are you doing here if you don't buy jobs?" "Selling goods? I have a fixed source here, so I don't need to purchase from other sources." No. The boy shook his head like a rattledrum. Yizichin was a bit confused by the child. "Then what do you want?" After a while, the boy said with a red face, "Are you hiring here?" "Pooh. Recruitment. How old is this kid? He's already applying for a job?" The boy seemed to sense Yizichin's intention to reject him, so he quickly promoted himself. "Brother, don't look down on me just because I'm young, but I have physical strength. I can do things like placing the goods in the supermarket and moving them. You look like a university student. You must have some academic work to do. This way, I can live in the supermarket 24 hours a day, and I can promise you that I won't steal any snacks from the supermarket, and I won't touch the money in the cash register." This child was indeed quite sincere, but the important thing was, he had no intention of opening the supermarket to the public. Helpless, he could only make up an excuse. "I can't recruit child labor." "Brother, that's easy. You can just say that I'm a relative's child and I'm here to help you. Isn't that enough?" It was as if the boy had already considered all sorts of possibilities before coming here. No matter what Yizichin asked of him, he answered without hesitation. All of a sudden, Yizichin was troubled. Yizichin sighed when he saw the boy's expectant gaze. "Then tell me, why are you in such a hurry to find a job? Are you not going to school anymore?" "I'm not going to school anymore. I'm an orphan, I don't have a place to eat or stay. I want to find a place that can provide food and shelter. Big bro, just accept me. I'm really willing to work, it's fine even if you don't pay me, it's..." The more the child spoke, the more pitiful he became. However, Yizichin glanced at him. This child was wearing high-end brands from top to bottom. Although he hadn't bought them before, he was forced by Yao Yu to recognize quite a few brands when he was dating her. Ignoring what the child was wearing, just the pair of Balenciaga shoes cost around 10,000 kwai. "Orphan? Who are you bullshitting with? Lil bro, do you think that big bro doesn't know what's going on?" This child definitely had other intentions for wanting to work here. Since he had nothing to do, Yizichin decided to start chatting with the child. "You said that you can't even wear 100,000 kwai, and you're telling me that you're an orphan. Are the welfare of orphanages so good now?" With that, Yizichin saw a hint of awkwardness appear on the boy's face. Yizichin smiled, then casually picked up a pack of cigarettes from the counter, and lit it up, then raised his eyebrows. "Come, introduce yourself first." "I'm Zhuge Kongming." Yizichin nearly choked on the smoke. He coughed intensely, then frowned. "Look, it's a compound surname. If you said that you're called Gooden, area or something, then I would believe it. You're called Zhuge, the waters of your orphanage are truly deep. I've admired Mr. Wulong since I was young. Can't I name myself Zhuge Kongming?" Zhuge Kongming blushed and raised his head stubbornly. Only then did Yizichin smile. "You want to be Zhuge Liang? Then sorry, I'm not Liu Bei, I don't need you to help me. What's more, you, Zhuge Kongming, are too immoral. I didn't even visit you 3 times, and you came over yourself. That's not like you." Zhuge Kongming puffed his cheeks in annoyance. Yizichin crossed his legs and pointed at the door. "Mr. Zhuge, please. Big bro, just accept me. Let me be your lackey, okay? No, hurry up and leave, otherwise I'm going to beat you up." Yizichin raised his eyebrows with a fierce expression. Zhuge Kongming twitched his mouth, then directly sat on the floor to act shamelessly. Then let's just wait and see. You're scaring me. Then let's just wait. After a few hours, the sky turned dark, but Zhuge Kongming was still sitting on the ground, not moving at all. What was strange was that his family didn't come and find him, which confused him. Zhuge Liang, aren't your family worried about you since you didn't return home so late? I said, I'm an orphan. Then just be an orphan. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth and stretched lazily. I'm starving, let's eat an entire bowl of instant noodles. Not long later, the fragrance of instant noodles filled the supermarket. Zhuge Kongming, who sat on the floor, felt his stomach rumble. He gulped as he looked at the instant noodles on the cashier. Yi Zichen saw all of this, then picked up a bowl of instant noodles and walked in front of Zhuge Kongming. Do you want to eat? Yes. Zhuge Kongming did not even hesitate. He was about to starve to death.